said in college football's cathedral tonight. Notre Dame SC one more time here in South Bend. And good evening. Welcome, everyone. Mike Tirico, future Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champ Drew Brees. Catherine Tappan joins us in a second. Second half of the season for the Irish. They're 5-1. 5 games they really could have lost. They're in some ways fortunate, but also gritty to be here. How have they done it, Drew, with 3 different quarterbacks finding different ways to win all of these games?
It's really remarkable. I can't think of a time I've ever seen a top 15 team literally utilizing 3 quarterbacks to get to where they are now. Jack Cohn is arguably their starter, but he's gotten onto a lot of slow starts. Fortunately, he's been the guy they've always gone to in the fourth quarter to lead these Joe Montana-esque fourth quarter drives. But young freshman Tyler Buckner has really been a huge part of their run game. And Drew Pine, kind of that middle guy, come in, create a spark. They're definitely going to need 2 of these guys tonight, probably Jack Cohn and Tyler Buckner, with Drew Pine always being ready.
All right, SC changed coaches, let go of Clay Helton after game 2. Interim coach, still have a good quarterback in Keaton Slovis, and have an excellent wide receiver in Drake London.
Drake London is so impressive to watch on film. Arguably one of the best wide receivers in college football. At 6'5", 210 pounds, he's big, he's physical, but a very polished route runner. What he might lack in long speed, he makes up for in just how physical he is. And he's as good a blocker as he is a route runner and a ball catcher.
Well, he'll be in the spotlight. Can they keep the lights out on him? Maybe there's one Notre Dame player who can help do that. For more on that, here's Catherine Tappan.
Yeah, and he's a superstar as well, Mike. The lights are out here, but the stars will be on the field. We heard Drew talk about Drake London, and then on the other side of the ball, it is Notre Dame safety Kyle Hamilton. Both players mid-season All-American selections. Now, these two have nearly identical body types, and their skill sets the best in the country. They also happen to be basketball stars. In fact, London stayed committed to both sports at USC, finally giving up basketball before his junior season in order to focus on football. Now, Kyle Hamilton told us yesterday, if I was playing wide receiver, that would be me. He said it's like looking into the mirror, and I'm so excited to play against London. He said a bit of a game within the game, and there's a very good chance we'll see both players line up against one another tonight, Mike.
What a stage for it, Catherine. First time in 75 years last year these teams didn't play. They renew the rivalry tonight. And here come the Irish. Brian Kelly's 7-3 against USC, including the last 4 wins here in South Bend. And as Drew mentioned, Jack Cohn, replaced multiple times, but remains the season-long Irish starting quarterback. Irish coming off a bye, same 2 for USC. The Trojans have alternated wins and losses this season. They're just waiting to come out of their locker room and emerge from the tunnel, the bottom left of your screen. It's a USC team that's been surrounded by turmoil and disappointing showings in the first half of the season. They've made a coaching change with an interim coach now in Dante Williams. They hope in this second half of the season to show off some of that great talent, and that's the player Catherine told you about, 15, Drake London. First half of the year, first team All-America, playing at a high caliber level. USC will hop back into Pac-12 play after this week. But for the Trojans, just like the Irish, this is a huge rivalry game and means so much to these schools, to these teams, and to their universities. The captain's coming out for the coin toss, and they'll be followed momentarily by the rest of the USC Trojans. There they are coming down that narrow, confining tunnel as USC tries to turn their season around with Dante Williams, the 39-year-old head coach who was the quarterback's coach and was elevated 4 games ago. So the Trojans take the field, and we are all set for the 92nd time. Notre Dame, USC. It's next on NBC.
This has been the U.S. Bank Countdown to Kickoff. Sunday Night Football on NBC and Peacock.
will receive as both of these great programs begin their second half of this 2021 season. Usually the meetings switch from the Midwest and the West Coast, but because of the pandemic pause, we're back-to-back years in South Bend. It's one of those games you just look down at the field, and this is what college football is supposed to look like. Notre Dame, USC, under the lights in South Bend. Lewis out of Phoenix kicks it off. It is a bouncing ball taken on the bounce by Lorenzo Styles, who's back returning kicks for the Irish here tonight. And the freshman takes it to the 22-yard line. We immediately have a flag thrown. And we have Pac-12 officials, both on the field and in replay, for the game here tonight.
During the return, holding receiving team number 44, half the distance to the goal, first down.
And Chris Coit will be the referee here this evening. So now back up the Irish. Let's look at the Notre Dame offense. These starting lineups brought to you by Hyundai. Michael Mayer is back in the lineup. Adductor injury has been out the last couple of weeks. Of course, missed the Virginia Tech game, but the big tight end, one of the best in the country, back in the lineup. Notre Dame looked much better running the ball 2 weeks ago against Virginia Tech. The left side's the reason why. Fourth different left tackle starting in Joe Alt. And Andrew Kristofic moves in as the starting left guard. So the penalty will back Notre Dame up, and this opening drive will start from their own 9-yard line. And Cone to work right away. Welcome back Michael Mayer off a hit at the 13, 14-yard line. Good initial physical play from the Southern Cal defense. Jalen Smith comes up with a tackle, the freshman who has not played much. Seeing a starting role here tonight for the Trojans. And no huddle, Cone quick for his wide receiver, Kevin Austin, incomplete, and Chris Steele, the starter, was in physical coverage. It'll bring third down.
Look at this. I like the matchup down into the boundary. Back shoulder attempt to Kevin Austin. Looks like he just got stuck. Wasn't quite able to get both hands around to make an attempt at that ball.
Interesting to watch the Irish with tempo here at the start. Dame's been way below average on third down. Blitz on 3rd and 6. Cone to Mayer. First down to the 23-yard line, a gain of 10.
You said it, Mike. This up-tempo offense, I would expect to see a lot more of this game with Jack Cone. It's really an area where he thrives. It very much mimics 2-minute, but obviously you're able to execute what is your normal offense.
With 4 eligible receivers to the left. The throw that way is complete, and it's Austin. He'll get a first down right around the 34-yard line. A gain of 11 for Kevin Austin, the senior from Fort Lauderdale.
I really like the way they're starting off with tempo here, Mike. It's getting the ball out of Jack Cone's hands. It's taking pressure off that offensive line. Getting the ball into your playmakers' hands. We've seen Michael Mayer catch 2 balls already. Obviously, they've really missed him.
4 plays, 4 passes for the Irish. George Chakis, the tight end, is in the game. He was the motion man. Now Braden Lindsey in motion. And he'll jet sweep it to the right. And the speedster, track star during his high school days in Oregon. First down to the 47. 3 straight snaps with Irish first downs.
So watch Braden Lindsey right here coming in motion. Quick snap. Then it's just about out-leveraging the defensive end. He's really the only guy that you're letting free. And then you've got a hat for a hat out there on the edge to block. Just get it in your speedster's hands. Let him go make a play.
17th career rush for Lindsey. And he averages over 10 per carry. Taking command, adjusting. There's the first run play of the night. Kyron Williams will bounce it to the outside. He'll outrace Isaac Taylor Stewart, the corner, and gain 9. He's shy of the first down, but to the Trojan side of the midfield.
You see Jack Cone making all these Mike ID points. It's telling the offensive lineman who they're blocking and who's going to be free. That's the guy who's free. That's the one that the running back knows he has to make miss. Kyron Williams, great speed, great athleticism to get on the edge.
Gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Cone taking a shot downfield, and it's incomplete. Tried to get it to Lorenzo Styles, Jr. The freshman from Pickerington, Ohio, was back there. And coverage from the Trojans.
Something I think we're going to see a lot of tonight are these go routes into the boundary. Jack Cohn loves throwing them. He's very, very good at it. And honestly, that's just been a weakness in USC's defense this year, is being able to play those balls down the field.
Chris Steele, the junior corner, was the one who made that play. Seeing more of Styles and Deion Colsey, wide receivers in this Irish offense. There's multiple tight ends, including Michael Carmody, the one-time starting left tackle. He's wearing number 45. 3rd and 1. Williams made the first man miss and gets the first down. With Kyron Williams' ability to elude the tackle will keep the chains moving.
So watch how they bring Avery Davis in motion. His job is to block that strong safety. Strong safety shoots the gap. Great job. And then Kyron Williams, make the strong safety miss. Make the corner miss. Go get that first down. Excellent run.
Was Chase Williams, the second leading tackler for SC, who didn't make the tackle and keeps the Notre Dame drive going. The 41, Cohn again to the air. It's complete. It's on the run. Styles inside the 25-yard line for the first down. For Styles, his 3rd catch of the year.
We're really seeing a new offensive tempo and rhythm here, Mike. Watch out. Jack Cohn very quickly getting the ball out of his hands, getting into his playmakers' hands in space, allowing them to get run after the catch opportunities.
The 23, another throw for Cohn. Quickly out, Kyron Williams, 4 on first down to the 19-yard line, and Cohn is 5 of 7 throwing in this opening drive.
Kyron Williams obviously being their feature back, but definitely a guy you want to get as involved into the passing game as possible as well. He's a matchup problem for any linebacker, any safety that's going to try to cover him today.
2nd and 6, you see Mayer to the right of your screen. The 3 receivers are to the top. Cohn scans, comes back to Williams in the open field. Only a gain of 2. That time a good play coverage. We'll bring up 3rd down. Kalen Bullock again makes the tackle. He's the backup nickel. Seeing a little more time now for the Trojans.
They featured Michael Mayer on the last 3rd down. Let's see if they do it again. Obviously, he's a matchup that you like in this game. Michael Mayer right here. Appears to be man coverage.
Day 12 of the drive. Cohn cruising in the middle. Complete run. I thought Austin had it and was on the run, but Kevin could not pull it in. So after 11 plays down the field, see if the Irish go for the 35-yard field goal with Dorr.
Watch Jack Cohn's eyes. He's looking at Michael Mayer running in here on this escape route. He's not open. Get to your next progression. Kevin Austin, great job with his eyes, finding his 2nd progression. It's just a ball they need to catch.
So very good drive down the field for the Irish. It stops here, and Jonathan Dorr will come on. Last time he was seen 2 weeks ago tonight, the game-winning field goal in Blacksburg. It's officially from 36. Michael Vincent snaps it. Nice job by Jay Brownlee to hold it, but it's wide right and no good. So the Irish move it down the field effectively, unable to convert, and the SC defense with a little energy after the stop. USC ball after this.
If we build this, all the players and fans will magically appear. I call it the Field of Fame. Of course, I'll have to tear down the garage, fill in the pool, and lose the trees. So can I get a loan?
So as your friend, I love it, but as your banker, not so much.
Let me talk to the friend.
You could always invest in a college fund.
No, my kids aren't going to college. They're going to work at the stadium.
Our kids are going to college. Football's back, and so are the fans.
My wife wants to build a college.
I look fly. Yeah. I look good.
Look good.
I look good.
Feel good. Play good. Gillette Pro Glide. 5 blades and a pivoting flex ball to get virtually every hair on the first stroke. Look good, game good. Gillette.
Jake from State Farm. You here to jam?
Aaron?
No, just an aspiring singer-songwriter with my bandmates. Here, giving out that Rogers rate to regular folks like us.
State Farm has rates that fit anyone's budget.
Is that so? Mahalo, Kiki. In that case, this one goes out to an ex-best friend of mine who took my rate, just gave it away.
For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
I need to try it first.
Tonight's game is brought to you by U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. By Jersey Mike's Subs. Be a sub above. And by New Coke Zero Sugar. Now even more delicious. That was about 100 miles from here. Navy Pier in Chicago. Trojan Marching Band held a pep rally. A lot of the USC fans fly to Chicago and drive the just under 2 hours, depending on the traffic, over here to South Bend. So Notre Dame, 12th place, 74 yards, but the missed field goal, and it's scoreless as Keaton Slovis from Scottsdale, Arizona takes over. Third-year starter, all Pac-12 a year ago. Injured against Washington State, but has been in the lineup since. First down, nothing open. Slovis is sacked. Loss of 8. Jason Lola comes up. 2.5 sacks now on the season for the senior from New Jersey.
And so we knew coming into this game, Notre Dame has a decided advantage with their defensive line versus this offensive line from Southern California, especially on this right side. Alert this matchup all day long. This right tackle position has struggled a bit for USC. Expect Notre Dame to attack that side.
Loss of 8. Slovis to the air, gets it back, and then a few more as Taj Washington, the sophomore from Texas, caught it in front of Cam Hart for the Irish. Before third down, here are the others, including Drake London, star player, targeted a third of the passes for USC. Drew mentioned weak up front, experience in the middle, weak on the edges, experience in the middle. Brent Nealon, the starting center, he grew up in Japan. He's from Rancho Santa Margarita, has to play a little bit better for this USC team with the veterans in the middle. There's London. At the moment, matched up with Clarence Lewis on 3rd and 7. Slovis looked that way. Pressure's on. He's in trouble. Chased by Tagovailoa Mosa. Put it up for grabs and out of bounds. Irish pass rush alive on the opening 3 plays.
Yeah, you really want to try to find a way, especially coming into a hostile environment on the road. You know that your offensive line has struggled a little bit. Find ways to get the ball out of your hands just to get some drives going, maybe tire out that defensive front. But certainly not the way that USC wanted to start this game with their quarterback running for his life.
Kyron Williams back, 30-year-old Australian Ben Griffiths with the punt to the 30-yard line. That's fair caught by Williams. He's 30. He got married last weekend. 6 minutes in, opening quarter at South Bend. No score. TV's #1 news show, NBC's La Brea. Going to keep you on the edge of your seat. So don't miss the all-new La Brea. That's Tuesday, 9 Eastern and Pacific, 8 Central on NBC. Sights of the beautiful Notre Dame campus on this Saturday night. Look at the Word of Life mural on the Hesburgh Library outside the stadium. There's Jack Cohn. If you don't remember Jack's story from the start of the season, from Long Island, Sayville, New York, lacrosse player, terrific one. Thought he'd be playing lacrosse at Notre Dame, played football at Wisconsin, and then transfers here for his last year and a run to Kyron Williams there for a gain of about 5. It's been interesting because the coaching staff is still learning Jack Cohen. Yes, he's a senior. Yes, he played at Wisconsin. But this is a different, more advanced offense, if you will, than what he ran in Madison. And they're understanding that quick and get it out is what he does well. Tamer to the 45-yard line. He wanted the extra flag. It's a first down.
It's evident every time he gets into a 2-minute drive. You can feel a level of comfort, a level of confidence. The ball gets out of his hands. He's a very cerebral guy. He knows where to go with the ball. He knows how to get it there on time. And that's really where I see him thrive. The times where he struggles is when he has to hold the ball. And up front, they haven't held up that well at times. And so he's getting hit. He's taking a lot of sacks, a lot of negative plays, getting into 3rd and longs. And that's just not where you want to be.
We have movement by the Irish. There was Alt, the left tackle.
USC, their first of the half.
That's why it was timeout first, so no penalty. So we'll step out real quick here. Here in the halfway point of the opening quarter. No score. Mike Tirico, Drew Brees, Catherine Tappan. South Bend, Indiana. It's your first Notre Dame USC, right?
It is. It's pretty cool. First one. Yeah, the minute I saw this one on the schedule, I got excited.
USC brings the band. No drum drama, by the way, like Purdue. We don't have to worry about fitting drums through tunnels and all that stuff that we went through with the Boilermakers here a few weeks back. But bands perform at halftime. It's part of the tradition when the Trojans come here in October, and the Irish in the following year go out to Southern California after Thanksgiving. To the edge to Kevin Austin. He's got a couple shy of the first down. Isaac Taylor Stewart in on the tackle. He's been thrown at often in this first quarter.
Up-tempo. A different offense so far that we're seeing today than we've seen thus far this season, Mike, with Jack Cohn at quarterback. Getting the ball out of his hands, finding completions, positive plays.
Definitely feels much more like what we saw early drives of Ian Book over the last couple of years. Irish are trying to find some scoring in the first quarter. Williams to the left side will be close to the first down as Raylan Goforth, the junior out of Long Beach. Returning starter Rover makes the tackle. It'll be just shy. It's 3rd and inches.
Yeah, to that point, Mike, only 14 points for Notre Dame in the first quarter of games this year. It's really surprising.
Cohn on the keeper, second effort. In the rivalry, they gave us the Reggie Bush push. It's a little bit of a nudge from Kyron Williams.
That always helps.
The first down. New quarterback coming in against this USC defense. And you see Tuli Pelotu, the best player up front, the most consistent. Drake Jackson is the outstanding edge player who can disrupt a game with his pass rush. And Isaiah Polamalu is the nephew of NFL Pro Football Hall of Famer Troy Polamalu, former Trojan. So Cohn's out, and Tyler Buckner from Southern California, from San Diego, in the lineup for the first time tonight. Terrific runner from the 44. Gets it to Kyron Williams. Williams patiently waited for the block from Austin to get very close to that first down. Here's the 35-yard line.
This is that element that Tyler Buckner brings. He's got 2 running backs in the backfield. He's going to fake to one. Kyron Williams sneaks out in the flat to the other side. Buckner, when he's on the perimeter, though, he has the opportunity to run. He can throw the ball to one of his outlets, but he just provides that versatility. It's very unique.
Second and 1, and Buckner looking to throw here. Throw in the middle. The traffic gets caught by Mayer at the 20-yard line. First down to pick up a 15, and Cohn comes back in.
You know, they really opened up this offense 2 weeks ago at Virginia Tech with Tyler Buckner. Gave him some more down-the-field, vertical passing game type opportunities. It's something that he does very well, as you can see from that throw right there, Mike.
With a Mayer one more time as Buckner now talks with Brian Kelly on the sideline. Mayer 4 catches in this first quarter. Will fake it. Cohn in trouble. Screen. Williams looking for a block. Williams 1 step away from taking that. But he gets 9, and Isaac Taylor Stewart tackles him at the 11-yard line.
I like the play call variation there, working in. You sell the zone to the left, fake the reverse, and then dish it off to Kyron Williams. You're 1 block away from a touchdown there, beating the safety blitz. Nice job by Jack Cohn getting that ball out.
Polamalu nearly got there. USC exchanging personnel. Second and 1. It's Williams with a first down to the 6-yard line. The Irish with first and goal. Eli Tafoe made the tackle.
I like the tempo here. I like the mix of the run and the pass. Again, the more you can get the ball in Kyron Williams' hands, both handing it to him and throwing it to him. He's one of your best space players on the field.
Irish going to go 3 tight ends here now. Mayer, Takis, and Michael Carmody wearing 45. They'll tighten up the formation on first and goal. And from the 6, it's Williams. Waiting for a block from Mayer. He'll get to the 4-yard line. Nick Figueroa,
42 of the defense's helmet came off, as well as number 6. They may not participate in the next down.
So Ishmael Sopshore.
Set the play clock to 40 seconds. 40 seconds.
The Alabama transfer, who has missed a good part of this season with compartment surgery, compartment syndrome surgery. He has to check out. One of his few snaps here for the Trojans.
You see the bunch up at top. You see Michael Mayer here at the point. See if that ends up being a matchup that Jack Cohn likes.
On the reach, it throws back in the end zone. Touchdown, Notre Dame, Avery Davis.
Avery Davis here. He's the inside-most receiver. He just runs across the field. It looks like it's zone coverage. Nobody really picks him up as he goes screaming across the field. Runs right across the free safety's face. Nice job by Jack Cohn. Kind of working his way through a lot of bodies in the end zone, finding Avery Davis.
For Davis, his third touchdown on the season. Jonathan Dorr with the extra point. The Irish dominated his first quarter. 158 yards to 3, and now 7 to show for it. Cohn to Davis. Great start for the Irish offense. On top 7-0 in South Bend. All right, so playoff time with NASCAR in Kansas tomorrow. At stake, a spot in the championship 4 in Phoenix in a couple of weeks. That's tomorrow, 3 Eastern on NBC. Kyle Larson's hot. Won the round before and then won the first one in the round of 8. So he'll be in the championship 4. Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch chasing, and Chase Elliott off the success last year, knocking on the door. Big races coming up. Kansas tomorrow, Martinsville next week. But it's all decided in a couple of weeks in Phoenix. We have it for you here on NBC. And our bouncing kickoff. Ooh, decision to stay in the end zone, and by the tippy toes, Gary Bryant does stay in. It's a touchback. And USC will have a long field to go. Stay, go, stay, go. Foot hits line, but the ball stays back in there, so it's all good. Bring it out to the 20. It was a very quick opening drive for USC because of pressure on Keaton Slovis by Notre Dame.
It was. I think what SC really needs to do on this drive is get some ball-out throws. Allow Keaton Slovis to kind of find a rhythm by getting some completions. You got to find a way to get the ball into Drake London's hands as quick as you can. He's a guy that you're targeting about 40% of the time, but he's certainly your biggest playmaker on offense. What's going to be interesting to see as this game progresses is how does Notre Dame attempt to take away Drake London, and how are they able to take advantage of that with some of their other weapons?
Ball is marked at the 20 with a touchback flashback. They've properly moved it to the 25 as Drake London for the first time. He is the star, the focus of this offense for USC. So this Notre Dame defense will be all over London tonight. You've seen the pressure up front. We haven't called Isaiah Foskey, who leads the team with 6 sacks. That's top 10 in the nation. J.D. Bertrand leads the Irish in tackles every game this year. In the back end, a lot of nickel with Kyle Hamilton being the focus. We'll keep an eye out, as Catherine told us at the start of the game. We will see 14 in blue against 15 in white, head-to-head, maybe in some third down matchups.
I can't wait.
Yeah, they can't either, right? 2nd and 2, first run. Keontae Ingram takes it to the left side. And the senior, transfer from Texas, will have the first Southern California first down of the evening.
And that'll be another interesting thing to see as we move along in this game, is how much up-tempo does SC try to do?
39, Ingram seeking space, not going to get much. Riley Mills has a hand up, but good secondary effort to take it out to the 43. Here's Catherine.
Well, after gaining nearly 2,000 career yards as a Longhorn, Keontae Ingram told me that he transferred from Texas to USC for his senior season because he felt he needed a new opportunity. He said, I fell in love with football again, and that's really all I could ask for. The opportunity Coach Clay Helton gave me was to come up here and come out and have fun, and that's what I'm doing, Mike.
Yeah, 7th in the Pac-12 in rushing yards, 419, leads the team. Slovis scanning and throws. It's complete. When in doubt, come back to London. And Drake gets a first down into Irish territory at the Notre Dame 43.
Nice job by Slovis working his way through the progression, right to left. Good job by protection. And then know this, for most of this game, Drake London is going to be on the left side of the field. It's a matchup that if you're one-on-one, you should love every time.
Seeing a lot of number 6 for the Irish, Clarence Lewis in coverage. From the 43, Junior Slovis throws it towards London. In between this open space in the zone, he's got it. Inside the 15-yard line to the 13. That's a gain of, well, they'll mark him at the 14, a gain of 29. And Kyle Hamilton is down for Notre Dame.
Timeout for an injured player of the defense.
As a quarterback, you're reading Kyle Hamilton right there. He stays inside on the inside seam, so he's able to throw it into the hole outside to Drake London. Boy, you hope Kyle Hamilton's okay here.
Saw him get stretched out and immediately grab at that knee.
He lands awkwardly here, Mike.
Yeah, he gets his foot caught on London, and then that left leg slides out. Went to grab the right knee. Kyle Hamilton. Not putting any weight on it. Does not look good at all. That's just a terrible injury to see. Kyle Hamilton, preseason All-America, first half of the season, voted an All-America, junior from Atlanta, who is the second leading tackler on this team. Such a big playmaker, and really the player that Marcus Freeman has used all over the field this season for Notre Dame, putting no weight on that leg.
We really hope he's okay, Mike. And if he's not able to come back into this game, how does that affect this game plan? Because like you said, he's such a versatile player for the Irish, and especially as it pertains to Drake London and that matchup problem for this defense. We're going to have to see how that plays out.
Yep. Replaced by DJ Brown. It's 1st and 10 for USC. Trojans in the red zone. Slovis. Foskey knocked it out of his hand. It's free. The quarterback tries to get on it, and he does. It'll be a loss of 10 and a 7th sack on the season for Antioch, California's Isaiah Foskey.
Now, this is something that Slovis is not going to be able to do today, is stand in the pocket and go through your progressions, because where you're lean right now is on the edges with these freshman tackles and two really good pass rushers from Notre Dame. Got to find a way to get the ball out of your hands, find completions. Don't allow these edge players to take over the game.
Marked at the 23, 2nd and 19, final minute of this first quarter. Trying to get it to London quickly. Slovis was under duress. London got out of a tackle. He's so good after the catch. It's Foskey who has to help bring him down. Finally tackled by DJ Brown, but a good gain out of what could have been a loss of yards.
Yeah, they move Drake around so much, but this is what really separates him as well, Mike. 6'5", 210 pounds. Great route runner, man. They have him dead to rights. He makes the safety miss and really puts him in a third manageable situation here.
There's Houston Griffith telling Brian Kelly, I'm okay. I'll make the next one. 3rd and 8.
You got to see if they're going to try to double Drake down here.
Quarter was coming to an end. Let's see if the end of the quarter beat the Irish jumping in the neutral zone.
Prior to the snap, the quarter ended. That's the end of the first quarter.
And after one in South Bend, it's Notre Dame 7, USC nothing. We're back at Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local station. Glad you're with us on a great Saturday night for Notre Dame SC and Notre Dame football, presented by Coke Zero Sugar. Back for the second quarter, our aerial coverage from South Bend brought to you by Geico. 10s on the Notre Dame sideline. Kyle Hamilton, Irish captain, best defensive player, remains in there after injuring what appeared to be his knee, which is what he grabbed after the play earlier on this drive. DJ Brown, number 2, playing safety in his stead. It is 3rd and 8 for Keaton Slovis in the USC offense. Slovis on hit, and it's intercepted by Bo Bauer out of the air. Bauer got a block. Bauer with speed at midfield, being chased by Slovis. Bauer at the 20, tries to stiff arm, down at the 5. Huge turnover and return by the graduate student from Harbor Creek, Pennsylvania. Myron Tagovailoa Amosa with the pressure on Slovis.
This Notre Dame defensive line is tuned up, finding ways to get to the quarterback. Tagovailoa Amosa gets his hands in there, tip this ball up. Great job by this defensive line. A lot of mismatches up front. USC's gonna have to find a way to get the ball out quicker, or else it's gonna be a long night.
And for Bo Bauer, 81 yards on the return. He's found a role as a third down linebacker for this Notre Dame team and comes up with the biggest play he's had in his Irish career. And Jack Cohn in the Notre Dame offense all of a sudden in the red zone at the 4. No gain on the run inside as USC's maligned defensive front able to stop Logan Diggs, the freshman from Louisiana, who's in the lineup now. This Tyree we have not seen yet has been battling a turf toe injury. And Kyron Williams most of the way early. And now the freshman Diggs, who had some big plays in the fourth quarter in Blacksburg 2 weeks ago.
I expect some sort of speed sweep bootleg.
And it is Avery Davis looking for space, cut it back inside, and USC's defense. A couple of good back-to-back snaps. Nick Figueroa and Raylan Goforth forced third down. Irish bring Kyron Williams, their top running back in the game. And Diggs will stay in. So even though there's no Chris Tyree, they'll do those two backs. Meantime, there's Hamilton with a sleeve on that right knee, testing it out. Third and goal. There's changed the formation. Cohn, nothing open. First look, keeps it alive. Still has time. Got to get rid of it, and he'll throw it to the back of the end zone.
Pass is legal. Number 22 is in the area. Fourth down.
There you have it.
This is really a good job by this USC front. They're just going to rush 3, which means they have 8 men in coverage. Just not a lot of places to throw this ball. Nice job by USC finding a way to get a stop here. Makes Keaton Slovis's tackle look that much better right now, doesn't it?
Outstanding sudden change defense from Todd Orlando, the coordinator's group. Notre Dame got the ball at the 4 and got nothing. That door. 21-yard field goal attempt. And he knocks it through to make it 10-0. So defense for the headlines. The Hamilton injury, then the third down big play. Tagovailoa Amosa knocked it free. Bo Bauer took it down the field. Notre Dame goal gets 3 out of it. And they're up 10-0.
I'm Jason Sudeikis, and I'm hosting SNL After the Game with Brandy Carlisle.
But Notre Dame, USC tonight, it's just like that fella from Ted Lasso says, football is life.
Well, yeah, but, he's actually talking about soccer.
Then why did he say football?
Well, Chloe, in Europe, they call soccer football. But, hey, you know what? Just for tonight, let's go ahead and say college football is life.
You mean college soccer, right?
Oh, boy.
Little Ted Lasso. There'll be a Ted Lasso skit or 2, I would expect, tonight, right?
I love Ted Lasso. That's one of the best shows on television right now.
It is so good. Jason Sudeikis, Brandy Carlisle, musical guest, Saturday Night Live from New York, following our game tonight, and you're late. Look lose. Jonathan Gore, another line drive kick, and Gary Bryant will take it from the 1. And Bryant finds a little space to take it out to the 25-yard line. Well, I mentioned USC is 3-3 this year. Just take a bigger picture step back over the last couple of decades. Let's go to the dominant run led by Pete Carroll. USC was just running everything. 2 national titles. The Irish only had 2 10-win seasons and 5 seasons 500 or worse. A lot of different coaches. Different stories. The decade has changed. Brian Kelly has taken over, rebuilt the Notre Dame tradition, and since 5 different head coaches, only 1 Pac-12 title. And now it's Dante Williams in for his 5th game as the interim head coach. He replaced Clay Helton, who is a very good coach and very likable. This was never the right fit with Southern California, and the expectations and the results were not the same. He has recruited good players like this guy, Drake London. Big catcher London to the 41-yard line. First down and a gain of 16. So here's Williams' 10th coaching stop since 2007. He was brought in a couple of years ago to energize the recruiting. And now here he is with the chance of a lifetime career.
Absolutely. You know what I loved hearing? When we spoke to him this week, he said during the bye week, he talked with every single player for at least 10 or 15 minutes each, talking to them about where they were right now during the season and making sure they were fully invested, fully bought in to this program, what they were trying to accomplish. I thought that was amazing. Think about that, 120 guys for that amount of time. I did the math. There's about 25 hours of his week that he probably devoted to really sitting down with each guy and making sure that they made this second half of the season the best that they possibly could.
Personal connections, that's what he's trying to make. Mike Bohn's the athletic director. He was the athletic director at Cincinnati. That's why everyone has said, oh, Luke Fickell's got to be the favorite for the USC job. But obviously, there's going to be a lot to play out. And then LSU opens its coaching job in the past week. So some say LSU jumps ahead of USC as the most attractive job. All that will certainly play out through the next 6 weeks or so. Slovis, nothing open. Scrambling, chased down, hit hard as he threw it. And it's caught. Great job by Slovis to keep it alive. We have a bunch of flags down on the play. And the catch finally made on the sideline for USC. Kyle Ford, the receiver who rarely plays, was the one who caught it. Now let's check out the multiple flags. Ford had played just 14 snaps all season.
There are fouls by both teams. They will offset. Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense. Number 81 in the offense went out of bounds on his own and was first to touch the pass. Replay second down.
Well, let's look at both. Let's start with the hit first. Is this late? No, it's body weight would be, if anything. It's certainly not late, but it's body weight from J.D. Bertrand. There's 81. Out of bounds and coming back. You hear the fans complaining about the whistle as they showed the replay of Bertrand. But Terry McCauley, our three-time Super Bowl official, he's back with us in our studio. I saw Terry. He agreed with me. It was body weight from Bertrand. That's why that was called. And a correct call from Chris Coit, our Pac-12 referee. So none of that happened. It's 2nd and 7. It is Darwin Barlow, a TCU transfer, with a carry inside to set up 3rd and 2 for USC.
Up tempo here for USC, trying to get a snap before Notre Dame's ready.
Try to keep the Irish from getting their 3rd down defense on the field. Slovis to London, good blocking on the side, and Drake London gets the 1st down as Clarence Lewis and Tariq Bracy stop him. In Notre Dame territory, the Irish 42-yard line.
Now, what have we seen? 3 or 4 catches now to London that are basically quick turnaround screen or bubble pass. Makes the first guy miss and goes and gets 8 to 10 yards. So when you think about all the things you can do with a guy like this, obviously he's a threat down the field. But just getting the ball in his hands, good things happen.
Slovis has 7 completions, 6 to London. Slovis has 8 completions, 7 to London. And he's out of bounds over there on the side. So you had a year with Michael Thomas. That was like 2018. We threw to him like 17,000 times unofficially.
It was unbelievable. The percentage of catches to the number of targets, right? I mean, he was like 95% of the targets were actually turning into receptions.
Darwin Barlow, this carry, Barlow. And they're going to lose forward progress there on the USC sideline in disbelief.
The runner's forward progress is ruled stopped, 3rd down.
As Tariq Bracy stopped him. So London now has 71 catches this year with his 7 tonight. You see his catches per game, 2nd in the FBS, also his receiving yards. Stay on this pace and you'll push Marquise Lee to the all-time list for USC. We had movement up front. I think it was Andrew Voorhees, the left guard.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
You get the feeling that SC's obviously worried about that defensive front for Notre Dame. Wants to try to get up to the ball very quickly. Get the ball snapped. Catch them before they're ready. Obviously get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly so they can avoid some of this pressure that they've experienced thus far.
After the penalty, Voorhees out. Justin Dedich from Temecula, California, the junior, comes in to play left guard.
You got a one-on-one matchup all the way up at the top here with Drake London. Let's see if they try to take advantage of that.
Slovis has him crossing underneath, and London has another 1st down, and he is so tenacious after the tackle. To the 28-yard line, Clarence Lewis the stop. 1st down SC.
I mean, I don't know if I can say it enough, Mike. I'd probably throw it to this guy every single play.
That's a lot.
He gets open, and when the ball gets in his hands, you see what happens yards after the catch. It's breaking tackles. It's just the tenacity and the competitive drive that this guy has. That was something that everyone said this week that we spoke to from USC. Man for man, this is one of the most competitive guys you'll ever be around.
102 of the 118 Trojan yards. Slovis throws to somebody else. Because London's on the sideline, and Gary Bryant with the catch. So, Drew, let me go back to that Michael Thomas here you had. Like, you know that guy is the target of that other defense. It's up to the offense to find creative ways to get him the ball.
It is. And it's up to the defense to stop him, right? So, but you truly go in with the mentality that one-on-one is like one-on-none. If this guy is covered by one guy, he will find a way to get open. And with his size and physicality, I don't care how good the other guy is. I don't care if he's standing right next to him. There's a place I can throw it to my guy where your guy can't get it.
First down picked up on the run. Keontae Ingram in the backfield and back in the red zone. And another flag.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
This time it's Jalen McKenzie, the right tackle, who came in as they had replaced the right tackle who got beat a couple of times earlier. Jonah Mannheim. Meantime, Kyle Hamilton continues to try to see how he is feeling with that right leg.
And you know how important this game is to him. He wants to be out there so bad. All right, Drake London one-on-one up top.
First and 15, Irish spring pressure picked up by the Trojans, and Slovis goes underneath. Derek Cromanhope is tight end for 4. Second down coming up as we come close to the halfway point of this first half. Notre Dame scored on their second drive, an Avery Davis touchdown reception, and a field goal from Jonathan Dorr after a big turnover the last time SC had the ball when they were driving in the red zone.
Well, SC's put together 2 consecutive drives now. Coming down into the red zone. Obviously, the last one resulted in a turnover. They really need to find a way to get points here. And
Slovis 6 of 6 on the drive. Goes to London to the end zone. Incomplete. As Lewis was watching him. It'll bring up third down.
You know, so really, this is cloud coverage over here. The corner is responsible for the flat. He's got safety help over the top, but obviously everything's compressed to make a play. But certainly that's your matchup. 6'5", give him a chance to make a play. He's going to catch a majority of those 50-50 balls. I think 50-50 balls are really more like 80-20 for Drake London.
Third and 11. 4 in the pattern. Pressure on Slovis. Hit as he threw. It's incomplete. One more time, Notre Dame bringing the heat on Keaton Slovis. Fourth down's coming up. Ramon Henderson is in there.
Yeah, watch up top here. This is going to be a theme unless they give these guys some outside help. They run a game. Really nice job by Notre Dame finding a way to pick the left tackle. And it's just those split seconds that make all the difference in the world, Mike. If Slovis is able to have another split second to deliver that ball accurately, here they are sitting first and goal from the 3-yard line. Instead, they're having to attempt a field goal.
Justin Ademi-Lola made the hit. Parker Lewis on for the 32-yard field goal attempt. And the sophomore from Phoenix knocks it through. He's had a good year. 11 of 12 in field goal attempts. And USC's on the board. Irish lead down to 7. Chris and Michelle in Santa Clara on Sunday night for the Indianapolis Colts and the San Francisco 49ers. A couple teams with important games. We'll have everything that happens in the week of the NFL on Football Night in America. Tony Dungy, Maria Taylor, Chris Sims will join us. We'll see you 7 Eastern right here on NBC. So, Jack Cohn of the Irish, when he was at Wisconsin, he handed the ball to Jonathan Taylor, who did a whole bunch of running for 3 years. Taylor had a $145 against the Texans. Been over 100 yards 2 of the last 3 weeks. That Colts team starting to get things turned around. We'll see Taylor in action on Sunday Night Football tomorrow night. Touchback here. Irish will take over the 25. Jack Cohn's been around. He's watched a lot of football. Look at this, Drew. We're surfing social media. Phillip Rivers.
I love it. Watch this. This is spot on. We need a little more of like the getting on the horse is the Peyton Manning signal for the snap.
How about this one?
Oh, wait. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That was smooth.
This one?
All right, yeah, the long release. There we go. That's good. Spot on.
And Aaron?
Roger, watch the back right foot. Watch the right foot.
All right.
And Bam.
Good. That's good.
I tell you what, I give it a 9.8. Yeah, let's see if this was a...
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
he did very well, didn't he?
Yeah, that's why I had to work through the progression there. You know, that was like a quadruple move by my son. I wasn't quite sure if it was the corner post or what.
Logan Diggs is the back, first down for the Irish end. The impersonator, Cone, throws it out completely. A good run from Lorenzo Styles down the sideline. The speedy freshman nearly gains 30 yards. Going to mark him out at the 46-yard line of USC.
Listen, Bad, just throw it out to your kick returner here. Get these blocks out front. Allow him to hit the sideline and go.
Bear and Davis spree for 29 yards. Now it's Diggs on the run. And just a yard there for Jack Cone. Did you have a final grade, by the way, for Jack, his impressions, David?
I have to give him a 9.8.
What did he miss?
Because
what did he miss?
He slightly lacked the Peyton Manning signaling for the ball, you know, with the leg lift. It's a little bit more of the like you're getting on a horse.
Okay, so you need a little more of that?
Yeah, a little bit more, and then, you know, your feet have to just be a little bit more level. So, yeah, otherwise, it was phenomenal.
High praise.
I give him a 9.8.
Excellent. Good stuff. SC brings pressure. Cone gets rid of it complete. It is Styles again. Lorenzo Styles, the Irish with injuries to Joe Wilkins Jr. and Lawrence Keys leaving the roster. They've gone a little bit deeper than you thought they might have this year, and the young receivers going to have to play. And here's Styles off to a good start tonight.
Again, one of those guys that I think fits well in this offense because you can get the ball into his hands in space very quickly. This up-tempo offense now, Jack Cone getting the ball out of his hands very quickly. Just get it to him in space and let it be a punt return.
Going on the give, Kyron Williams made a man miss, and he's on the run. Williams with the first down and a gain of a dozen. Again, after initial contact, Kyron Williams is such a good runner.
He's extremely hard to bring down. He's a very patient runner as well. Watch how he breaks that initial tackle, but then just his assessment of what's happening in front of him, his ability to put his foot in the ground and really gain ground to get to the edge is pretty uncanny.
USC's confused. They have to take a timeout. Notre Dame didn't sub personnel. USC was trying to. So Notre Dame's offense didn't have to wait for him. And a second timeout taken by the Trojans in this first half.
Toast to Notre Dame football by raising a pint of Guinness. Now a proud partner and official beer of Fighting Irish alumni and fans. Please drink responsibly.
New Rockne statue outside the north gate of Notre Dame Stadium. Brian Kelly, a couple of games ago, passed Knute Rockne, all-time winningest Notre Dame coach with 107 wins. Acknowledging 21 were vacated by the NCAA. So the Irish list 107 for Kelly, the school record. Out of the USC timeout from the 23. Got a motion for Braden Lenzy. Cone about to get hit, dumps it to Williams, picking up blocks. Kyron Williams steps out of bounds. It's going to be no gains. He's twisted out. Catherine Tappan, I know you've been watching Kyle Hamilton closely on the sideline.
Yeah, they were evaluating him on the sideline, and since then he's been sitting on the side of the bench with that right knee injury. His right knee is wrapped. His right leg is outstretched. His left knee bent, sitting on that chair with his teammates on the sidelines with his helmet off, certainly rubbing it and massaging it himself. The official word is that he is questionable to return to this game, Mike.
All right, KT, 2nd and 9. Cone, 5 in the pattern, and the empty backfield. End zone shot from there, incomplete, with good coverage from USC. And Isaiah Polamalu and Xavier Alford. Alford, the freshman from Texas.
When they motion to empty here, Jack Cone really likes the no-back formations. You got what you like. One-on-one with Michael Mayer. Just get that ball out there. Give him a chance to make the play. But certainly that is a matchup you like all night long.
Irish have moved the ball effectively. 10 points to show for it. 3rd and 9 from the USC 22.
You just don't want to take a negative play here. Want to make sure you at least can get some positive yardage.
Timeout, Notre Dame. First time out of the half. 30 seconds.
So they'll have 2 left as we're inside of 5 minutes. Of course, so many great moments in this series. Top performance brought to you by Mercedes EQ. We go back to October 15, 2005. Irish lead by 3. Final 2 minutes. 4th and 9. Matt Leinart, Dwayne Jarrett, 61 yards. And the Reggie Bush for the Leinart 1-yard touchdown run. And USC wins a classic 34-31 with Pete Carroll, the heyday of USC football. Of course, that's not a legal play, although we see that every week now in the NFL, every play.
Well, listen, it's quarterback sneak is just a melee. You know, I mean, it's the minute it's one of those things where in most cases everyone in the stadium knows it's about to happen, and you just know it's going to be a scrum. And it's just both sides pushing and shoving as hard as they can.
The 2 great players involved, one of the great plays in this rivalry. Watched Reggie and Matt on Fox this morning talking about that play. This series brings so many memories to mind. 3rd and 9, Cohn will throw. It's complete. Mayer runs for it, has the first down. Inside the 10 to the 6-yard line. And Mayer confident to catch it, get past the sticks. 1st and goal, Notre Dame.
Well, watch Michael Mayer. He's really the outlet, but what he gives you is the ability to make 2 defenders miss, get back inside, and extend the drive at 3rd and 9.
Irish go quick. USC tried to sub. Kyron Williams only going to get 2. It is a really good play in a scramble moment. Tuli Pelotu, the sophomore, most consistent guy up front, helped stop it there for SC.
They're back on the ball again, Mike.
Again, they've not done well inside the 10. It's Williams this time. Inside the 2 to the goal line and in for a Notre Dame touchdown. And Williams would not be denied. And another long drive for the Irish. This one ends in 6.
Again, so what does this up-tempo do? It has these defensive linemen not really firing out. They're more just kind of standing up, trying to assess what's happening. So you're able to get good push up front. And Kyron Williams able to do the rest by breaking a tackle to get himself across the goal line. But I think that's what this up-tempo does. Not only does it help you in the pass game to neutralize the pass rush and get the ball into your playmakers' hands more quickly, but in the run game, it just makes that defensive front a bit more indecisive.
Replay confirming that Williams broke the plane for what would be his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. We'll look. Shin down. Where is the ball when the shin comes down? The left shin looks to be the first body part down.
The ruling of a touchdown is under review.
You'd have to piece stuff together. We saw that one look right down the goal line. That one look that is usually definitive, except when the player's shielding the ball, as Williams is in this case. It's the shin there. Helmet's broken the plane. Where is ball position at that point? And so as you look from this side with a look there, we'll bring Terry McCauley in as we look. So Terry, we're always looking for anything that is conclusive and definitive. Anything you've seen?
Yeah, Mike, we see that the shin goes down, but obviously, as you said, the ball is completely shielded. I don't think you can even piece this together. It appears that he's likely a little bit short, but I don't see anything that's indisputable that would create replay to reverse this to short.
And appears, I think, kind of looks like those all don't count in replay.
It does not. We need indisputable evidence, and I just don't see it here on this one.
We mentioned Pac-12 officials. The replay official is Jack Wood, also out of the Pac-12. And when the Pac-12 is in replay, they do consultation with their headquarters, which is in beautiful Palo Alto, California. It's a great place to have your headquarters, by the way.
Not bad.
Not at all. So if it stands, the Irish will take a 13-point lead. The run was 2nd down and 5. If for some reason they bring it back, it'll be 3rd and inches for the Irish. Well, you see all the looks they get, they can piece together.
After review, the ruling of a touchdown stands.
It remains, and Williams gets to celebrate his 5th and his 22nd career touchdown. You see, Kyron provides the fire for this Notre Dame team. He is.
There's no question he's one of the emotional leaders, and those guys up front, the linemen love him because he blocks just like they do in pass protection too.
He's welcome in their room for sure. Jonathan Doerr's extra point makes it 17-3. 3 70-plus yard drives for Notre Dame. One of them, they missed the field goal. They got a touchdown on 2 of them. The last one by the junior from St. Louis, Missouri. 17-3, Notre Dame on top, late second quarter. Hunter's Moon is the full moon in October, time of the year when the hunters begin collecting food and storing it for the long and cold winter months ahead. Well, the years ahead are what they're thinking about on the sideline before the game. About 100 or so recruits. This is a massive recruiting weekend for Notre Dame, playing Southern California, having the Trojans here, primetime game, late in the high school football seasons. Most of the class of 22 is signed, done deal. And Brian Kelly said it's changed so much. It's much more personal. It's have the kids to the house, get to know them, the proper fits for Notre Dame and vice versa. Big recruiting weekend on campus for the Irish. The return by Bryant. He'll be brought down at the 22-yard line. Big recruit out of high school is Keaton Slovis. Take us back to his freshman year.
Yeah, so he's done a lot of work since his freshman year. Freshman year, he comes in and listen, mechanics start from the ground up. Watch Slovis's feet here. Wide base, but just a short stride. So putting a lot of pressure on his arm, not really able to generate a whole lot of velocity and accuracy, you can see with the results of that throw. But over the last 2 years, a ton of work on this longer stride, this creating ground force production, utilizing your hips, transferring energy into your arm, and then therefore into the ball. So you're seeing more velocity, more accuracy from Slovis here from freshman year to now.
Interesting to see what gets the ball there a little bit easier and quicker. Ingram with the carry. This is about 4 yards to the 27-yard line. So this whole drill, we've seen Dak Prescott do a whole bunch. We saw Slovis do it at pregame as well.
Yeah, listen, I give that a C+, maybe a C-. Yeah, Dak's quite a bit exaggerated, but listen, that's what you want, right? Big hips, hip-shoulder dissociation. I could throw out all these crazy terms, but bottom line is that is what's generating power and translating that energy into the ball.
Second and 5. Here's Slovis throwing in the middle. It's Drake London, his 9th catch of the night, and that's a first down at the 34-yard line. Drew, it's interesting. Slovis was telling us my freshman year, I had to go to the trainer's room to get some icy hot because my arm was tired. I didn't feel it. So how does this stuff, this ground-up stuff, help your arm become stronger and more lasting?
Bottom line is you don't throw with your arm. You throw with your lower body, and it starts with your feet. So ground force production translates to your hip-shoulder dissociation. So how are your hips and your shoulders, like coiling, just like you would a rubber band, and then all that energy transfers into your arm and therefore into the ball and out. So your arm's just along for the ride. Your arm shouldn't be the one doing the work. 34, Slovis fakes it to Ingram. He'll throw it. It is complete across the 40-yard line to the 44. Tariq Bracy with the tackle on Malcolm Epps, who makes his 7th catch. So you were talking about this with Slovis. Keaton's done a lot of work going back to his high school days with Kurt Warner, who was very involved with Slovis when he was playing at Desert Mountain High School in Scottsdale. And has had a great influence on Keaton. What a great influence that is to have on any young quarterback, any young person. That's one of the great people in football. First down run there to the 45-yard line. Yeah, absolutely. Could you imagine having a guy like Kurt Warner be your high school football coach? What a great mentor, what a great human being, but certainly a guy who knows the game extremely well. Was a great mentor for Keaton and talked a lot about just what a great young man he was, how he loved to work and recognized some of the things mechanically that he needed to work on, and has worked so hard to get to this point now where you're starting to see the benefits of it. And they still talk on a regular basis. Slovis and the Trojans trying to get a score here. They get the ball to start the second half so they can get back in the game with a score before the break. With time here, he'll throw it incomplete. You texted Kurt this week to check in? I did. Good. I laid off because every broadcaster, because we're all friends, who's not friends with Kurt Warner? Every time somebody has an SC game, I texted Kurt Warner. So he worked with me. So he's a partner. I laid off, but I'm glad you got in touch with him. I texted him, and then we had about a 20-minute conversation. We talked about Keaton and just talked about life and kids and everything else. He's got a movie coming out here pretty soon talking about his career. Yeah, Christmas Day.
That movie will drop on Kurt Warner's amazing career. And his life story, too, which is just as incredible. 2nd and 10 for Slovis. About 45 to go. Nice move by Keontae Ingram. Will spin, get 5 to midfield. SC's got to put a little tempo in this deal here.
Yeah.
At midfield with the final 100 seconds. So Graham Harrow, the former Texas Tech quarterback of the air raid offense, will have to get this offense moving a little quicker.
Yeah, third medium. Obviously, they've been up tempo anyway on 3rd down, but you're in a 2-minute situation here. You certainly want to convert this, though. You don't want to give the ball back to Notre Dame here. Keep this drive going, go down and get some points. Don't give Notre Dame another opportunity.
Will they find Drake London here? 3rd and 4. They're going to run it with Ingram, and a good job. He twists forward to gain a couple. Myron Tagovailoa Mosa in pass rush mode, able to grab him and throw him down. 6 seconds left, 4th and 2.
They're thinking long and hard about this, Mike. I think this is one of those times where maybe you go for this, send a message to your offense and challenge your offensive line a little bit.
That's a heck of a play by Myron as he was pass rushing to spin off the block and go get him. And Notre Dame is going to let them take as much time as possible and now take a timeout.
Timeout, Notre Dame.
All right, so 4th down coming up. Back in 30 seconds to see what happens. You love what you just saw in the timeout, Drew, from Dante Williams.
Absolutely. Dante Williams runs in the middle of that huddle with his offense and says, men, we got to get this. This point in the game, find a way to get this 1st down. Let's go down and get points and go into this locker room with some momentum.
Fourth and 2. 3 of 4 on 4th down conversions this year are the Trojans. Play clock running down. Slovis with a change. Try to say, let's go quick. That's delay a game. I don't know if they were trying to draw them off or not.
Timeout, USC.
Oh, timeout beforehand, okay.
They're 3rd of the half. 30 seconds.
Well, that gets us a chance to remind you that the State Farm Halftime Report is coming up with Jack Collinsworth and Corey Robinson and Joe Theismann, the great Notre Dame heroes of many years. He knows all about this USC Notre Dame rivalry. Joe will join the guys. A 9-overtime game in Happy Valley. And there is Corey and Jack.
If I told you that 9-overtime game was going to be like final score of 20 to 19 or 2018, would you have?
Not many 9-overtime games stay under the expected amount of points in a game.
I mean, I was thinking 90 points maybe with 9 overtimes, but it's amazing.
It was crazy. 10-10 at the end of regulation, and one of the top 10 team ends up falling in 9 overtimes. It's the first time we've got to see a game play out with those new 2-point rules. It still doesn't feel great. It didn't help the new rule that it was a poor execution.
They were trying to avoid that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, 4th and 2, still looking like they're going to go for it. Trojans do. They hand off, and Keontae Ingram has the 1st down inside the 40, and a good power run by Ingram to the 38-yard line. But USC used the timeout to try to draw them off, so they're out of them now.
Yeah, 2 high safeties, so you've got a hat for a hat inside the box, and they do a nice job covering up all the defensive linemen. Continuing to run here is a little bit surprising.
Trying to get
really want to call a timeout here.
But they don't have any now.
They're going to clock.
Yeah, they used it. So at the 31-yard line here, will they have time for a shot at the end zone with Ingram? Down to 12 seconds and 11. And now they are looking that way.
You've got to throw this ball to Drake.
Slovis scrambles. He's brought down. That's getting the half. Jack Kaiser tackles him here.
Well, they've got 3 seconds, so in theory, but now
down the ball here. 3.5 runs out. They're snapping the ball in a shotgun to try to down the ball with 3 seconds left, and there might be some inexperience with the head coach. That is very, very bad clock management to end the half.
Yeah, that's inexcusable. I mean, as a quarterback, you've got to find a way to throw the ball away. I mean, first and foremost, if you are snapping it with a running clock, 13 seconds left, I'm finding Drake London, and I'm just throwing him a jump ball. He was wide open in the end zone, but at least give him a chance. It's going to get knocked down otherwise, and the clock's going to stop, and then you have a chance to think about what your next move is based on the time. But
you can see Williams' frustration. He knew what he wanted. They did not execute it. And here is London.
But I mean, he's wide open. and he's your best player, and then there's nobody back there. So from a quarterback's perspective, where should my eyes be? That's immediately where my eyes go. And if he's not open, I'm throwing it away and moving on to the next play.
Even with Hamilton hurt, Irish give up 3 points, 17-3 USC trails. State Farm halftime report coming up after these messages from your local station. This is Notre Dame football presented by Coke Zero Sugar.
You're watching Notre Dame football, presented by Coke Zero Sugar.
Temperatures falling to 41 degrees. About 9:20 in the evening in South Bend. Our first half stats brought to you by Coke Zero Sugar. The 1 turnover. Other than that, pretty balanced. Red zone, Notre Dame a bit better than USC. 17-3. Here's Brian Kelly to his team at the break.
You want this game, you go take the game. That's simple. I told you what this was about on Monday. It's about being more physical. So if you want to let your guard down in the second half and think you got this, shame on you. You want to come out and dominate like a Notre Dame football team should against their rival? Show me that you can do that.
The fire from Brian Kelly there at halftime.
Tell you what, he wants them to finish. You know, that is one thing we really haven't seen from a Notre Dame team this year yet, is a 4-quarter effort. You know, it's been up and down at times, but you definitely get the feeling that they're beginning to find their identity on both sides of the ball.
Gary Bryant with the return here. Gets away from one tackle. Bo Bauer shows from the sideline around the 20. And let's check in with Catherine Tappan on the sideline.
Well, Mike, I just spoke to Dante Williams, and he told me he was concerned because he thought his team looked confused, and they had poor clock management. What he did like was the way they were playing on 3rd down. He thought they were doing better in that region, but he looked at me and he said, I'm calm because we've seen them take their best shot, and guess what? They haven't seen us take ours. So we'll see what they can do here in the second half, Mike.
They have an opportunity to score a couple of times here. 1 turnover, what we saw on the last drive. And we'll see if they get Drake London involved in the second half.
Yeah, I think the turnover is one of the most telling things, because, you know, that might have been a 10-point swing, right? Who knows? If they score a touchdown there, this is a much closer game.
London 9 catches, 108 yards in the first half. Slovis to work right away to Bryant, the kick return man. He'll work the sideline. For about 8, Gary Freshman from Riverside, California. We've alluded to Dante Williams a couple of times, who is a Southern California native, played at Pasadena Community College, and played corner at Syracuse for a year in 2003. He grew up around West Coast football and USC football as a fan. As the run there for the first down by Ingram takes it right around the 30-yard line. Matter of fact, one of his cousins is Chris Richard, outstanding defensive coordinator many years in the NFL with Seattle. That's Kurt Heinisch down for Notre Dame and shaken up. Heinisch playing a record 55th game. Missed a couple of games with concussion earlier this season. They're out looking at the graduate student from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Mercedes EQ and the all-new, all-electric EQS. By new Coke Zero Sugar, now even more delicious. And by State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The jeweled shillelagh is what is in the possession of the winner, and it's been Notre Dame 3 of the last 4 years. Here's Kurt Heinisch, who we saw injured as we went to the timeout. Got up relatively quickly, walked off under his own power, and get back in the game when needed. Last play by Ingram was a 3-yard run for a first down for SC.
We've seen this a few times now. Drake London one-on-one down here at the bottom of the screen.
They run Ingram again. He'll get 4 to the 34-yard line. Drew White, third-year starter, makes the tackle.
You know, the USC's been running the ball very efficiently today, which obviously felt like they needed to in order to take pressure off of that offensive line and the Notre Dame pass rush. But at some point, here you are, 17-3, you're down 2 touchdowns. The tempo is going to be important. The opportunity for a big play here and there is going to be important as well.
To the 38-yard line with Ingram that time. That's a good point, Drew, because early on in the game, they went to throw, and the Irish defensive line completely ruined those hopes. Now more of a physical nature to this one, and Ingram continues to pound at the Irish. First down to the 45-yard line. J.D. Bertrand, part of the tacklers. So Brian Kelly challenged his team to come out and be physical, and it's USC doing that to the Irish.
Yeah, you think of this air raid offense, and you're talking to Graham Harrell this week. He really said that's more of a philosophy than it is schematics. Obviously, we're throwing the ball a lot, but the inside zone and the outside zone run game is a very important part of this offense.
4 straight runs for Ingram. They'll throw with pressure from the safety, and the pass is hung on to by Malcolm Epps down the seam and down to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, obviously, a lot of attention on Drake London outside, but how about Epps, the big tight end up the seam? With a big target like that, a lot of places you can throw the ball for him to catch. A really nice catch there.
And at 6'6", they're missing Michael Trigg, the freshman, who is on the trip, but has not played, was injured against Utah a couple of weeks ago. The gain was 30, longest gain of the night for Southern California. The 25, Keaton Slovis. Swinging pass is deflected and can't get to Darwin Barlow, the intended receiver, the running back.
Good push outside. Obviously, you're able to have eyes on the quarterback as well, so you feel that ball begin to come out. Hands go up. Nice job getting that ball batted.
Justin Ademilola, we've heard from both Ademilola twins tonight. The 25, and he's to London with the blocking. Good job initially by Tariq Bracy to make contact as he was being blocked. They let Drew White come over and finish it off for no gain.
Yeah, you know, they don't cover down Drake London in the slot here. But great job by Tariq Bracy of really challenging that slot receiver on the block, getting to contain and allowing the rest of his defensive players to come and make the tackle.
London's down here at the bottom of the screen. He's got 2 watching him. 3rd and 10. Twisting 4-man rush. Pressure off the edge. Slovis to the end zone. Incomplete. Tried to get it to Epps, and the flag comes with a hit in the back at the end. DJ Brown playing safety for the injured Kyle Hamilton. Coming over to break that up. And it's called for the penalty. At least conversation going on here.
Personal foul. Targeting. Defense number 2. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down. The play is under review.
So that will be reviewed as all targeting calls are automatically. But first, let's bring in Terry McCauley. Then we'll get to the implications. Terry?
All right, so we have to look at the process. Is he taking aim for the purposes of attacking? Is there an indicator? Does he lead with his shoulder, helmet, forearm? And does he make forcible contact to the head and neck area of a defenseless player? You know, we see some contact there with the helmet. It's hard to say this is forcible. It looks more glancing to me on that angle right there. I don't think this is targeting. I think this should be reversed.
We'll see what the Pac-12 officiating crew decides in replay. Now, Brown is in because Hamilton's out. So if Brown is called for targeting and is ejected, then Notre Dame's down both of their safeties, in addition to USC getting the ball at the 10-yard line and having it 1st and goal. There are the targeting, if you will, checklist items to go through. And Terry walked you through there. Meantime, Kyle Hamilton is waiting. Catherine, I'll go to you.
After review, there is no targeting on the play. The pass is incomplete. It's 4th down.
Terry, good look right there on your first call, looking at the replay, and the replay official confirmed that. So it'll be 4th down. Catherine, I was going to ask you, what did you hear about Kyle Hamilton at the break?
Brian Kelly told me at halftime the injury to Kyle Hamilton appears to be nothing structural, which is good news for the Irish captain and the midseason All-American. His return tonight, however, remains questionable in this game, Mike.
All right, Catherine, yeah, they test usually for an ACL injury, that structural injury. When you saw them put a sleeve on and let him walk around and test it, that was encouraging observational sign, and Kelly says more about that. From 42, it's Parker Lewis, and he misses to the left. So USC has a nice drive. Might have had targeting at 1st and goal at the 10. Instead, it's a field goal that they miss. 2 drives on each side of halftime, and USC comes away with nothing. 17-3, Notre Dame. Irish ball when we come back. Well, the normal home of the Trojans, the Coliseum in Los Angeles, been taken over by our great Premier League team. They'll be back out there as Fan Fest continues tomorrow around and in advance of Manchester United against Liverpool. NBCSN, Rebecca Lowe, the Robbies, Tim Howard, Traveler 9 even showed up to welcome Fan Fest to Los Angeles. Action continues at 7 Eastern on NBCSN, and it goes to a great matchup between the teams that are 3rd and 6th in the table, Liverpool and United. First down, first play in a while for the Irish, and Braden Lindsay is stopped immediately. Loss of yardage with the corner, Chris Steele making the play. Well, it's been a while since we've seen Jack Cohn in the Irish offense. They started with that long drive, missed field goal, the touchdown. But after the turnover, they got the ball at the 5, did nothing with it, settled for the field goal. And then the last drive that they ran was a touchdown on a 9-player that ended with Kyron Williams on the run. Goes to Siebel Flemister, who checks into the lineup. Been out of the mix for a while for the Irish. And Flemister with the carry to the 29-yard line. Senior from Georgia, not available. Coach's decision the first third of the season. And not in the lineup the last couple. And chance to see him carry the ball for the first time here tonight.
Yeah, the best thing that Notre Dame offense did in the first half was create this up-tempo environment for Jack Cohn. He really thrived in it and was able to get a bunch of completions, put together some really nice drives.
Out of rhythm, they haven't touched the ball for 50 minutes. 3rd and 6, Cohn in trouble, and he is sacked. The one guy who brings the pressure from the edge on this team, Drake Jackson, who has been quiet, comes up with his 4th sack of the season, and Notre Dame is 3 and out.
You know, we haven't really had the opportunity to talk about the defensive line for USC yet, but here we are, 3-man rush. Jack Cohn trying to work his way through progression, but he feels the pocket collapse around him. Nice job by those edge rushers, really collapsing the pocket.
So the sack for the Trojans brings Jay Bramlett and the punt unit out. Gary Bryant back to receive. Good kick by Bramlett. Fair catch, 51-yarder. Took Bryant back to the 26-yard line. We talk about these programs, how great they are historically. Well, let's talk about Canton, Ohio, as that ultimate measure of football greatness. Pitt and Miami, each 9 Hall of Famers from their alumni group. Ohio State and Michigan, 10 and 11. All very good, but they do not equal these two programs. Southern California and Notre Dame, each tied 13 Hall of Famers, the most produced by any school, is represented in the spot of football immortality in Canton, Ohio. Drew, you think about it, each program's won 11 national championships. They've combined for 13 Heisman winners. So much of the history of the sport, these two programs. This pass here is a loss of 2 yards. Slovis threw it, and it was quickly stopped by Drew White as Keontae Ingram couldn't get upfield.
Yeah, and talking to the players this week, you just felt like there was a little something extra with this rivalry. You know, throw records out the window. This game is meaningful for both sides.
On 2nd down, Slovis, throw to the long side is caught. Good job by Taj Washington to break out of the tackle and get the first down to the 47-yard line. Catch and run by the sophomore.
But this is another element of that air raid offense. You know, being able to get the ball out to your playmakers in space. Adding that to the way they've been able to run the football today, throwing the ball down the seams.
That pass was incomplete as Slovis thought he had Gary Bryant, the freshman, never bent the route into the middle. There's Graham Harrell. You talk about this air raid offense.
Yeah, that's obviously one of the things that we learned this week. Air raid offense, very progression oriented. You know, so you're going to have a 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. You can see that as the night goes on with Keaton Slovis, as he's worked his way across the field to find the different progressions. At times, that's caused him to hold the ball a little bit too long, though.
One here for Ingram. He'll gain 2 yards, and the Irish will hustle off the field, get the 3rd down unit on, bringing 6 new defenders out there after the Bertrand tackle.
And Notre Dame was going to make sure to get the personnel group they wanted out there on this 3rd down. USC's been operating very quickly on third down.
Top receiver, London, bottom of the screen, 3rd and 8. Slovis goes the other way, and it's incomplete. Cam Hart in coverage with Taj Washington, and that'll bring up 4th down. Slovis looks over, the punt unit lurking, and now comes on the field.
You know, at times you feel like, especially on third down, how can we get the ball into London's hands? You know, he lines up left so often, so if you're caught on the right hash, then London is so far away from the ball. You know, so finding ways to maybe get him in the slot, get him in a position where he becomes one of your primary reads on the play.
Not targeted on that drive. Williams put up the fair catch signal. Kick was too long from the 30-year-old Aussie Griffiths. Irish will take over the 20. 8 minutes left in the 3rd quarter in South Bend. Above the rest, brought to you by Jersey Mike's Subs.
Jack Cohn's great in the 2-minute offense, so what did Notre Dame come out and do tonight? Hey, quick fakes, get the ball out of his hands, 2.5 seconds or less, finding completions, getting the ball to your playmakers in space. This is where Jack Cohn really thrives. You can see his confidence level with it. He's very quick through the progressions and really has found a way to incorporate all of these playmakers on the Notre Dame offense. I think this is the offense that we should really see moving forward with Jack Cohn. I think it really works to his strengths.
You saw the numbers, 15 of 20, 75% completions. Here, Kyron Williams carries for about 2 yards. On the season, Cohn's 62%, but like you said, it's run for 2, right back on the ball, to the line, quick decisions, and he's been well protected until that last 3rd down.
And I said,
here, and it's incomplete, turning into George Chakas.
I'd also say, more so than anything, is it keeps him from holding the ball, which thus far this season has really resulted in sacks, turnovers, negative plays, things that have really set this offense back. And I know what that feeling is like for a quarterback, where you just feel like, I just can't find my rhythm. Well, this allows you to find your rhythm by being able to get the ball out of your hands quickly.
Linebacker Kanai Malga popped that finger back in. 3rd down, 3-man rush. Cohn throws complete to the 35. Left traffic in there, but Deion Colsey comes up with his 2nd reception for the Fighting Irish.
I like the play concept here. So Kyron Williams is going to hold this defender to allow the in-cut to come in right around him.
Irish go without a huddle. Williams carries for a yard.
Kyron Williams on the carry.
To the 36. That is certainly different. Notre Dame going at that really super quick tempo after getting the 1st down. And credit Tommy Rees, Brian Kelly's offensive coordinator, his former quarterback. There's Tommy with the stocking cap on. He's noticed and got a feel for Cohn. He's like, hold on, wait. I see the look, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to call here. So Cohn looks at the sideline.
You forget, even though Cohn is a veteran player, experienced player, this is still their first time to be together.
Play justice to this run. Williams gets through the opening, breaks the tackle. Kyron Williams on the run, picking up blocks from Lindsey all the way to the 26-yard line as he is pushed out of bounds. Big run of 36 for Kyron Williams.
Notre Dame loves this run play. You call it duo, which basically requires the back to be very patient. You've got a bunch of double teams up front. He's got a couple different ways he can bounce this. He chooses to cut this back in feeling the lane, and then, man, get this guy in space. He's going to break tackles. He's going to find ways to break big runs. He's an explosive runner.
Officials going to stop the game here for a second. Timeout. There's some confusion over there on the sideline. Williams to 100 total yards now from scrimmage. We have an issue with the chains, so we'll fix that. So that play is called duo, but it's also called something else.
To repair the chains.
Well, some teams call it punch, some teams call it duo.
And you call it?
I know Tommy Rees calls it duo because that's what we called it. Tommy Rees comes from the same lineage of offense that I came from.
Well, you started calling it America's play.
I do call it America's play. Everybody's running it. Everybody's doing it, right? It's a copycat league, you know.
We sit in the screening room on Sunday's Football Night in America, and Drew pointed up to the screen for America's play. America's play up there. Going for the 26. He's chased. is not what he does best, and he will bench it. Just get rid of it and get to second down.
Number 17 is outside the pocket to pass across the line of scrimmage, second down.
Yeah, he was trying to pull up and throw the ball backside. They had a nice little kind of throwback route to Michael Mayer. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to pull up and deliver it to him.
Here's Mayer, the top offensive weapon for the Irish in the pass catch game. 5 catches, 54 yards. First game back from injury. Missed the Virginia Tech game. Williams to the left. And that first tackle gets him this time. Good play on the edge by Xavier Alford. We've seen a lot more of the freshman from Texas in that safety position for the Trojan. Third down coming up. Alford numerous times. Only played 14 plays in the last game and under 70 snaps for the season. You saw the third down numbers. Irish not good.
Got Michael Mayer in the slot right here. He's obviously a big third down matchup for you. Appears to be man coverage, has a safety over him. You're pressed up top with Kevin Austin.
Looking towards Mayer, contact and flags. That's Alford, and we've been talking about as we're seeing a lot of action. He was the one who had that initial defensive responsibility of Mayer. It'll be a first down for Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's no easy task. He actually does a nice job. He jumps this thing well, but
pass interference.
Just trips him up.
Defense, number 29. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
They'll bring Notre Dame back in the red zone. And they'll bring Tyler Buckner back on the field, the freshman from San Diego who saw 2 snaps in the first half. And his running ability makes them a little tougher to defend. He's got Flemister as the back from the 19. And Sebo runs for 3 to the 16-yard line. Huge possession here. If Notre Dame can get a touchdown, really puts USC in a hole as we hit the final third of this game.
Yeah, it certainly,
it's gone by.
Certainly does. Obviously, they're a fast-paced offense anyway, but they really have to start throwing it. I think that really works to Notre Dame's strengths with their front four against the offensive line of USC.
You see directing players in the secondary from the 16th. Flemister tried to bounce it to the outside. Got rid of 2, but he will not be stopped by everybody else. Isaac Taylor-Stewart off the corner and felt the worst of that contact. Cone comes back in the game for a third down for the Irish.
You know, and when obviously we haven't seen a whole lot of Tyler Buckner yet tonight, just a couple snaps in the first half and 2 right now, but I think that's ideally how Notre Dame would like to be using it.
They're first for the half.
USC had Taylor-Stewart shaken up, and they'll have to take a timeout here as they had some personnel issues. Third down 6 coming up for the Irish.
This is called momentum. And there's no off season. It's work that builds on itself over and over and over again. Because the only way is through.
Sebo Flemister, who is the back who was involved with Isaac Taylor-Stewart, very physical running back, and has not seen much action, so he is ready to bring it. And Taylor-Stewart went low and ended up getting the worst of that contact, although as you see the replay, a couple of players who took big hits on that one. Kalen Bullock was also involved in that collision, but the timeout by USC allows Taylor-Stewart to get back on the field here. So third down and 6 for the Irish. Michael Mayer is lined up tight in the formation to the left. And they hand it off to Kyron Williams, who's going to be stopped at the 11-yard line. Drake Jackson, who doesn't do his best work in the run game, was there along with Braylon Goforth.
Up-tempo, 4th and short here. You really expect him to pound it? QB sneak, maybe?
That's a long way to go for a quarterback sneak. Cone with the second effort. I think he got it with that little surge there at the end.
You know, believe it or not, there is an art to running the QB sneak. You feel all these defensive linemen inside. You feel like you're going to have to bounce that. So be ready to maneuver a little bit to the side, find your crease, Drive your legs and get as much as you can.
Yeah, little bit of physical contact that Avery Davis got on Jalen Smith helped get him there for the first down. So Buckner back in here in the red zone at the 9.
Yeah, you see these two running backs on either side of Tyler Buckner. That's really kind of been the theme when he's been in the game.
Flag down as the Buckner run comes to the 5. This is going to be against USC, I believe.
Illegal substitution, defense, 12 players on the field. Half the distance to the goal, replay first down.
USC has had a communications nightmare in this game. Every single snap, I'm ready to say, oh, USC's running somebody else on. They're trying to match personnel, and they are not set and ready throughout the night.
Yeah, it's amazing. Just that quarterback change too, you know, because it's such a different style of offense between Jack Cohn and Tyler Buckner.
So that was a free play for the Irish. It is first and goal inside the 5. And Buckner just shy of it. His butt was down before the goal line. And a flag comes in with the late pushing. And this will be a big call with Notre Dame on the doorstep.
After the play ended, personal foul, late hit, defense number 47. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Get him out. Todd Orlando, the defensive coordinator, even though Stanley Tafalo is one of the better defenders on this USC team. He's coming out.
Mike, you know what this play is? It's still
America's
play. But instead of handing it to the running back, you take off as a quarterback. Well, what have you done? You've now brought the running back in to become an extra blocker for you. So now you have a hat for a hat. And with a runner like Tyler Buckner, really a great red zone play.
So Buckner out, Cohn in, first and goal for the Irish. And Cohn will give to Kyron Williams. Keeps the legs churning at the goal line and in for the touchdown. His second on the night. That left hand down as he reached behind Alt and Christophic, the new left side of the offense. And that keeps no body part down with that left hand out for the reach and breaks the plane.
It looks like the Notre Dame offensive line and run game of old. Just get up there, hand it to Kyron, and let him push the pile.
That's a great point. That's 92 rushing yards, Drew, and that's the season high for Williams and any Notre Dame running back. Extra point attempt, Jonathan Dorr. And the Irish lead is 24-3. Notre Dame has scored on 4 of its 6 drives, and 2 of them touchdown runs by Kyron Williams. Great look down to this October Saturday night on the Notre Dame campus. Our aerial coverage brought to you by Geico. Notre Dame's 26-game home win streak stopped in here against Cincinnati. It's been almost 49 months between home losses for the Irish, but they are on their way to starting a new streak, leading 24-3 over USC. Jonathan Dorr, who was really in some pain when he came through and kicked that game-winning field goal at Virginia Tech, the 48-yarder, hasn't had the distance on his kickoffs tonight. Taj Washington will get his chance as a return man. And Washington will be brought down around the 23-yard line. We said the air raid offense. Show us a little bit of what it means.
Yeah, so pure progressions, left to right, right to left. Watch Slovis's eyes. Progression 1, not open. 2, not open. Slide, move, find progression number 3. Getting the ball out when you see open receivers. Same thing here. 1's not open, 2's not open. Come back to number 3. The more experience you have in this offense, the faster you can get through those progressions, because obviously there's times when you're not going to have as much time. So the ability to eliminate and get back to the open receivers before the rush can get to you is the key to executing this offense with success.
Back on the ground one more time. It is a good run off the edge this time for 17 yards and the first down for Keontae Ingram. He's having an excellent game here tonight. 22 on that one.
Yeah, you're not quite in this just 2-minute let it fly mode. Obviously, you still want to have some semblance of a run game, keep the defensive front honest, but certainly the up-tempo nature, being able to take some shots. You're down 3 touchdowns here, so you're going to have to do some damage quickly.
Ingram contacted behind the line of scrimmage, squirts free and gets a couple on the night. That was a 17th run, season high in attempts for Ingram, who's closing in on 100 rushing yards. And this USC team did need to get a little more run, a little more balance in their game. Speaks to the attitude that Dante Williams, the interim coach, was trying to impart on this team in the second half of the season. The 47, they cover London, and that leaves Cromanhoek open, the tight end to the 35-yard line. So everybody knows they love to go to Drake, and USC fooled the Irish.
I love the play design here. You motion the tight end, fakes like he's blocking for a little screen to Drake London, get him up the seam.
35. It's thrown to London with Bryant out there to block, and a gain of about 4 yards as he's tackled by Jordan Botello, the sophomore from Hawaii.
That's the first ball Drake London's caught in a while.
It is.
I think he's got to be number 1 or 2 in every progression you have for the rest of this game. He's your big-time playmaker. He's the one that's going to get you back into this thing.
He's got 10 catches. Most receptions against the Irish in a game all time is 15. Jalen Sanders of Oklahoma back 9 years ago. London will have a chance for that with the Trojans in throw mode the rest of the way. We'll pop to him here. And he'll gain enough for the first down as DJ Brown makes the tackle right around the 25-yard line. Let's see if they give him a first down. Nope, just shot.
Not many guys that are 6'5" you bring in motion and give shovel passes to and have him run speed sweeps.
Look at this guy. He is running hard today. Ingram again, over 100 yards to the 12-yard line. First down SC at the back end of the third. Catherine, he's handling the 40-degree temperatures.
Yeah, he is a Texas native. He had a great reaction earlier in the week. I'll get to this in a second, Mike. Back to you.
All right, KT, from the 11. It's Ingram through the middle to the 4. Go ahead quick, Catherine.
Yeah, he had a great reaction earlier in the week when asked about playing in 40-degree temperatures tonight. He told me, I'm a playful guy. I was just trying to have fun with the media. I've played in way colder weather than this. It's currently 39 degrees.
That's the end of the third quarter. Timeout on the field.
Yeah, it is a little bit different for Ingram, but he's handled it all right. He's running hard, too. USC trying to score, stay in the game after 3. It's Notre Dame 24, USC 3. We're back with the fourth quarter from South Bend after these messages from your local station. You're watching Notre Dame football presented by Coke Zero Sugar. Off we go to the fourth quarter. A look at the score by quarter brought to you by Coke Zero Sugar. Irish the only points of that third. USC without a touchdown. And down 21, but knocking on the door again. They've been in the red zone a lot tonight. Trying to close one down with a touchdown. It's 2nd and 3 for the first down, 4 for the touchdown. Irish bring pressure. Slovis fires to the back of the end zone for Drake London. Incomplete. DJ Brown, the safety in coverage. If you're just joining us, Kyle Hamilton, the Irish All-America safety, injured in the first quarter.
Hey, you see Drake London on a safety here. DJ Brown just want to try to get that ball down. Give him a chance. Again, these 50-50 balls, I think, to Drake London are more like 80-20s. This guy can go up and he will make a play on it. Just give him a chance.
There's Hamilton, knee injury. Brian Kelly said appears not to be structural. Again, the pressure. Third down run is a touchdown for Keontae Ingram. So the Texas transfer has had an outstanding game here tonight and runs it in for the Trojans' first touchdown of the evening.
They've really done a great job all night running the ball, probably more so than what we expected. A good run scheme here, bringing the tight end back. Everyone's thinking pass. Defensive ends are upfield. That creates the lane that allows Keontae Ingram to get into the end zone.
Touchdown 4 on the season for Ingram. And the extra point added by Parker Lewis, 24-10. The Irish lead in the fourth quarter. USC band that has made the trip from Southern California gets to play fight on, and that's a little bit of what Dante Williams' approach is with this team. You can see it, Drew. This is a different looking team in terms of the physicality that they've brought into this game compared to what we saw, let's say, the Utah game where they fell behind last time out a couple of weeks ago.
They've definitely made an emphasis on the run game. We heard it this week from Graham Harrell. I think they've run the ball a lot better this game than what I expected. And I saw something different from them on that drive. I mean, again, they've moved the ball well this game. They just haven't been able to score touchdowns. They broke the seal there. Let's see if they can get a stop here and get another opportunity.
Yeah, because you said at 24-3, this game wasn't over by any stretch, and they proved it by going down the field. Your first three-quarter impression on what Notre Dame has done on the offensive side of the ball tonight?
I think they've done a great job. They've up-tempo with the pass game. They've been able to run the ball effectively with Kyron Williams. But this is a huge drive right here. This will determine a lot here in the fourth quarter.
The Irish had 4 of their 6 drives with over 70 yards gained. Stuart Cohen and the Irish get the ball. Parker Lewis kicking it off. It'll be a touchback. Notre Dame will take over the 25-yard line. Okay, we have not seen Chris Tyree tonight dealing with turf toe. Was questionable coming in. It means a little bit more work for Kyron Williams, and he loves the work. 15 carries, 92 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and has really improved on that yard per rush, which is good for him and good for that rebuilt, reworked left side of the offensive line.
You know, I'm amazed that Notre Dame sitting here at 5-1, having gone through 4 offensive tackles, left tackles, mind you, this season. But again, it seems like everybody's kind of finding their way a little bit, and then this run game is going to be very important for them down the stretch, and they've made big strides tonight.
Here's Cohn again, out quick. That's a nice catch by Kevin Austin. It was low to the outside, away from Isaac Taylor-Stewart, and Austin caught it with his hands.
He went down and got this one. Fingertips, big hands, that helps.
Austin, 6'2", 215 pounds. Gain 5 on first down. And it's Logan Diggs with a bounce to the outside. The freshman from Louisiana with a good run of 12 and a flag thrown in there, though, where that hole opened up.
Holding offense number 85. 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
It's on the tight end, George Takis. He's looking up at the screen at this.
Another version of America's play, but to the nickel side. So you have one less blocker.
Must be where they got it there, that little grasp inside. So we'll push it back to 2nd and 15, and Diggs remains the back. And he's got it on the draw. Diggs is hit hard. Good job by Raylan Goforth, the rover, hanging on until Chris Steele, the corner, could shut it down and set up 3rd and long.
We talked about what a big drive this was, coming off of USC scoring a touchdown. Their defense being fired up. They get the holding penalty, so puts Notre Dame in a 3rd and long. You know, one of these situations where obviously you don't want to be too aggressive because you're still at 14 points, and yet at the same time you understand the importance of this drive.
Diggs out, Williams in. USC usually likes to blitz. They'll only bring 3 here. Underneath Williams, can he catch and get it? Oh, he can again. So many plays like that. Kyron Williams, when it looks like he's going to be 2 or 3 yards short, he gets it. First down.
You know, times you'll do this as a design. Look at this. Eyes are this direction. With Jack Cohn getting the defense to play the 3-receiver side, Kyron Williams just kind of sneaks out of the backfield, get in his hands with his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage so he can run, advance, and pick up that first down.
So that look from the quarterback is just enough to give him a better chance?
Absolutely intentional. Pull the defensive players to the field so you can hit him out of the backfield.
Behind the line of scrimmage, Williams eludes the first man, but he can not get back to the line of scrimmage. Drake Jackson cleans it up. It's a loss of 2. So we've seen Tyler Buckner come in and play a little bit. We saw him at Virginia Tech. Is something like that we just saw from Cohn an example of the experience of 4 or 5 years of playing football?
It's absolutely something that comes with the experience of a veteran quarterback, a guy who's been around, a guy who also understands how to manipulate defenders. And so it's a perfect example. Hey, 3rd and 15, I don't want to force this ball. Man, let's get it in the hands of my best player in space, and look at the result.
Here is that player. Williams runs to the right to the 42-yard line. We'll dive into 12 minutes here, and the Irish will have a 3rd down trying to keep this drive going. He showed so much 2 weeks ago in Blacksburg. The Irish were down. Buckner threw a couple of picks, got hurt. Cohn comes back in, leads Notre Dame to the game-winning, game-tying drive, and then the game-winning field goal drive to get out of Blacksburg with a win. Cohn here throws it across the field, caught by Kevin Austin at the 42-yard line. 1st down for the Irish and a gain of 15.
Jack Cohn very good at throwing these verticals. Watch his eyes. He's just keying this free safety. He knows he's got Kevin Austin running across the field. Just got to put it there on the line before the free safety can get there.
11.5 to go. 1st down, play action, sideline shot, contested ball is intercepted or caught. The 15, it is intercepted.
Ruling on the field is an interception. 1st down, USC.
Tight battle with Chris Steele physically there. That 50-50 ball. The junior from Bellflower, California, wrestles it away from Austin. Austin has hands on it first, but it's closed into the chest by Steele, and a pick for SC.
Listen, I love everything about the thought process here. Jack Cohn going to throw a back shoulder throw. Just a firm ball. He leaves it inside a little bit, but watch Kevin Austin. He's got 2 hands on the ball, but it's just pressed up against Chris Steele, the DB's chest. Watch this here. 2 hands on the ball. And Steele just benefits from all of a sudden the ball's pressed against his chest. He wraps his arms around it. It's really one of those that could have gone either way, to be honest with you.
It has some simultaneous possession qualities to it, which immediately takes me to September 24th, 2012, the Fail Mary, Green Bay, Seattle in Seattle with the replacement officials. I'm going to bring Terry in a second, but Slovis from the 14 looking deep downfield. He's got a man open, and it is caught at the 40-yard line. It looks like that was almost simultaneous, but it is brought in by Drake London and has seasoned business here.
Yeah, Drake London, not known as a speedster, but he gives a double move here. Really nice job. And look, just give this guy a chance. He will go up and make the play.
That's his longest reception of the year, 46 yards. You saw Clarence Lewis trying to get a hand on it when he was down, but he did not. And a run by Ingram to the 37. Terry bringing quickly back to the play on the pick. Is there such thing as simultaneous possession in college football?
There absolutely is, Mike. It appeared that they got the ball almost identically at the same time, and more importantly, they came down with it together on the ground. That appears to me to be a simultaneous catch and should have been reviewed and gone back to the offensive receiver.
Interesting. At no point did they say that the play was being reviewed, although, quote, every play is. Meantime, London remains on the sideline after those 2 plays. The run by Ingram is 3. SC going fast, trying to get within 7. They throw it out on the Ingram play to Manjack, I should say, on the London play to Manjack, and Clarence Lewis makes the tackle, but a 1st down picked up by USC. Joseph Manjack, the 4th, in for the moment for Drake London. And London back in now. Big momentum flip here. It was 24-3 at the start of the quarter. USC scored, gets that turnover. Quickly has moved it down to the 31. Slovis trying a sideline shot. A lot of contact and a flag thrown. Ramon Henderson is in there for the Irish. Ruled out of bounds and no catch by Taj Washington.
Pass interference. Defense, number 11, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
And that'll bring it to the 16-yard line of Notre Dame.
Ramon Henderson here, he's in a good position, but you can see the jersey grab, and he's pushing him out of the bounds. Just trust yourself, trust your technique. You're bigger than he is.
Obviously, the turnover at the start of this drive. Replay officials did look at it and did say no simultaneous possession. USC had it, so they did review it and feel that the call on the field was correct. Drake London's been laboring between these plays. He's got the ball now. He's got a block, and he's very close to another first down. He's going to be shy of it at the 8. But USC on the move.
You know, he's such a physical runner when he gets the ball in his hands, Mike. Certainly does not shy away from any contact.
14 catches for London. The run here by Darwin Barlow is a first down. Barlow stopped just inside the 5. USC is going to keep going.
Really impressed with the way they've been able to run the football. I mean, it's 4 and 5, 6 yards a pop here as we've gotten into the fourth quarter.
USC trying to get within 7. It is again London. This time to the 2-yard line. So London, with his 15th catch, ties the record for the most ever against a Notre Dame football team. 15 for 171. Second and goal. Slovis on the give. Barlow on the carry to the goal line and in. And USC right back in it.
USC's really wearing down this Notre Dame defense with their ability to run the football. You lean on those defensive linemen enough. This is when the war of attrition begins to take place. Fourth quarter, they've run the ball well all day, but these 3-yard runs from the first and second quarter are now all of a sudden 6- and 7-yard runs. So credit this offensive line for never giving up, continuing to grind, continuing to wear on this defensive line, and also Graham Harrell's ability to stick with the run. You know, it would have been easy to give up on that when you're down 21 points, but
Speaking of that, Parker Lewis's kick. First missed extra point of the year. Still remains a 1-score game. The TCU transfer, Darwin Barlow, pounds it in. Second rushing touchdown of the year. But the missed extra point by Parker Lewis means it's an 8-point SC deficit. Aerial coverage tonight brought to you by Geico. This thing is tightened up quick. USC 2 fourth quarter touchdowns, erasing a 24-3 deficit and narrowing it to 24-16. Plenty of time left. 8:51 to go. Big deficit. Temperature dipping around 40 degrees. Might have thought USC would not have dug back in, but they have brought the physical to the Irish. If you have been bouncing around checking out other stuff, here's how we've gotten here. Kyle Hamilton, Notre Dame's best defensive player, injured his knee in the first quarter, has not returned since. Drake London, who Hamilton was going to see a lot of, we've seen a lot of Drake. 15 catches, 170 yards for one of the nation's top receivers. And the excellent running back for Kyron Williams continues to have a great season. 138 yards from scrimmage, a couple of touchdowns. His second one put Notre Dame up 24-3, late third. But USC has responded. Now Williams and the Irish will try to respond. Williams again makes a man miss, and he's very close to a first down. Almost all of his yards have been after first contact here tonight as Hamilton watches from the sideline.
It's one of his great strengths is his ability to break tackles, make guys miss in space. Like you said, Mike, just about every time his yards are coming after that first contact, after that first stiff arm, whatever it might be. He is electric when he gets the ball in space.
We'll throw it out to Avery Davis, and the senior slot receiver for the Irish will get out to the 40 and pick up a Notre Dame first down. Galen Smith, the tackle.
This is one of those interesting situations because you've been successful with tempo all day, but obviously you're taking a look at that clock as well, right? But I don't think you sacrifice the idea of trying to run the clock over, being in tempo, finding rhythm, and moving the ball down the field, because certainly you've been able to do that all game too.
Barrett Williams to the left. This is strung out by the USC defense. Not a cutback lane to find. It'll get 2 yards. Drew, you bring up such a good point there, because as we come to the halfway point of the quarter, USC looks like Notre Dame's going to have a tough time stopping them.
That's exactly right.
You better get some points out of this drive.
That's exactly right. That's what you're thinking. Find a way to get points. Execute the offense. Like the up-tempo nature. Try to catch them Try to catch him out of position, find a matchup.
Four-man rush. Cohen is protected. He'll try the right side and incomplete. Fans want a flag. I think that contact was on time. Kevin Austin. Let's see. Oh, flag does come down.
Pass interference, defense number 8, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They get Chris Steele here on Kevin Austin.
Yeah, Kevin Austin is their down the field, go ball threat. Does a nice job of getting inside, but you see that jersey pull.
There it is.
They'll call that every time. Contact
was 5. The jersey pull was not. So it'll move the Irish to the USC 43-yard line. One thing about this officiating crew, Chris Coit, they keep the game moving. They got that pass interference called quick. This is Terry McCauley like speed. Terry worked an NFL game, man. It flew. You better be ready to shut up for the mic being open. Kyron Williams. Up the middle, Williams keeps pounding. First down to the 32-yard line. Williams over 100 yards comfortably now. 118.
You get the feeling both of these defensive lines are getting worn down a little bit. Tell you what, there's nothing the O-line loves better than getting in the fourth quarter. Give them an opportunity where they can just lean on that defensive line, take away that fastball, and just start pounding the rock.
From the 32-yard line, Williams again. With dead leg trying to get to the outside. He'll get 2 yards there. Yeah, that's about it. Xavier Alford with the tackle. Got a flag thrown late here. And they're Williams and Isaiah Polamau.
Somebody talking to somebody here.
Is that?
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 29. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. This is number 29's first of the game.
That wasn't real smart in a situation like that.
And Dante Williams is just trying to build something here. As you said, an opportunity for him, whether it's staying at USC in some capacity, going on a run and winning the head coaching job, or the next stop. Everybody's watching is really trying to get his guys to play the right way. And you can see the frustration at the end of the half with the poor clock management. And on that play by Alford, which has allowed Notre Dame to get down to the 15-yard line. Williams to the left for 2 yards. Drew Brees mentioned it earlier. Notre Dame running left here. Joe Alt, Andrew Christopher.
Number 6 of the defense's helmet came off through play. He may not participate in the next down.
It's the corner, Isaiah.
Set the play clock to 40.
Isaac Taylor Stewart. So first was Blake Fisher, then Tosh Baker, then Michael Carmody, and finally Joe Alt, 76, who has settled in the last couple of games as the left tackle for the Irish.
They really added some size and strength on that left side of the line.
Tyler Buckner behind them now at quarterback. His 5th snap of the night is a gift to Williams. Bunching to the outside. Williams with a first down and goal inside the 3-yard line.
You've had to defend the run with Jack Cohn in there, and that's a certain set of run plays. Then all of a sudden Tyler Buckner comes in the game. As a defense, very difficult. You immediately have to switch your mindset to respect the fact that this quarterback at any time can pull this ball and get out on the other edge. He really accounts for another defender in the box and opens up a lot of other elements in the run game for Notre Dame.
Under 5 minutes, 1st and goal for the Irish, and Buckner will keep it and scores a touchdown. And you see one of the first guys out there is Jack Cohn. These quarterbacks, as they share the role, are also sharing the joy as well. Look at Jack Cohn fired up for Tyler Buckner.
Yeah, it's amazing what those quarterbacks and what Tommy Rees and Brian Kelly have really been able to build together. You know, they see, no matter who's in the game, that quarterback room is a shared success. So whether it's Jack Cohn throwing touchdowns, Tyler Buckner running in, or Drew Pine coming off the bench to give the team a spark, those guys have worked so well together. They're there to support one another, provide input when they come off on the sideline. It's really incredible to see that type of camaraderie in the QB room.
The Buckner touchdown makes it 31-16, ND. Going to be a fun night. Studio 8H. A little peek in as they get ready for Saturday Night Live. Jason Sudeikis is the host. Randy Carlisle's a musical guest. Looks like there may be some presidential poetry involved there. We look forward to it tonight right here on NBC. Live across the country, 11:30 East, 8:30 out in the West. Tyler Buckner, his choices came down to USC or Notre Dame. Young man from San Diego picked the Irish. Runs a touchdown in against the Trojans. 15-point game. Good hang time on this kickoff. And Taj Washington. Big collision shy of the 20. What a night for Drake London. 15 catches.
Tell you what, this guy is special. He's as good a blocker, as aggressive a blocker as you'll ever see. Down the field threat, the ability to go up and high point the ball at any moment. And then breaking tackles all over the place, finding ways to get extra yards. He's a physical runner when he gets the ball in his hands. May not be the fastest, but he's smooth. He knows how to set up routes and get past defenders. This guy's the real deal. He's got every single trait that you would want. He's going to be a very successful player at the next level.
The 44-yard reception you saw at the end, his season and career long. 15 catches on the night. USC down 15 inside of 5 minutes. Going to run the ball here to try to establish a bit of a drive. And they'll get it to Keontae Ingram, who continues to add to his total. We'll just give you a couple quick here on London. 15 catches. That ties Jalen Saunders from Oklahoma the most against Notre Dame. And that 15 is too shy of the USC single-game record. Slovis the pass. It is complete. The 43-yard line that time. Cam Hart with the hit on Kyle Ford. So he came in second in FBS football to Jareth Stearns of Western Kentucky. And has upped his averages on catches and yards per game tonight. 4:10 to go. Slovis well protected in the second half. Eric Cromino, senior tight end, gets it to the 48-yard line. 4 shy of the first down as we're under 4 in regulation.
Well, you've got Notre Dame playing very much a prevent-style defense.
Ingram takes advantage of it with the run to the 39-yard line. Flag down, though. So one of the Irish defenders saying,
holding offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
Brett Nealon, the center.
You know, normally I would say in this situation you don't really want to be running the ball, you want to be throwing it, but the way that SC has been able to run the ball, the way they've been able to get up to the line of scrimmage very quickly with this no huddle and the chunks that they're getting in the run game, that's still a big part of their ability to get down the field, score a touchdown. They got plenty of time to do it, but they can't have holding penalties like that are going to set them back.
SC has run for 145 yards tonight. Ingram with 141 of those. And they get a chance to add to it. Or Bo Bauer will subtract a few. Loss of 3.
This is also a situation in the game, Mike, where you got to be somewhat aggressive. And if you have a one-on-one matchup with Drake London that you did on that last play on 2nd and long, so really opportunities you want to take advantage of. Because now you're in 3rd and long, you're probably going to get coverage rolled over the top of them. It's going to be a little bit harder to get in the ball.
Irish rush 4. Slovis stepping out, chased by Tagovailoa Amosa, and Foskey throws late back to the middle towards London, and incomplete. Flag is down. He was over the line of scrimmage, I believe. Let's see. I may have lost track of the 35, which was the line of scrimmage.
Illegal forward pass. Offense number 9. Pass made beyond the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Lost it down. It's 4th down.
Yeah, just run.
I didn't lose track of it. He did.
Go run, get what you can, and then live for 4th and 8 as opposed to 4th and 20 or whatever this is going to be.
It'll be 4th and 22. Trojans have 441 yards on the night. Need to come up with a bunch here to stay alive. Notre Dame blitzes. Foskey chases. Slovis, who loses the football, and it's picked up by the Irish, and that should do it. Tariq Bracy falls on it, and Notre Dame will take over.
Foskey right here. Watch him just speed on the edge. The two-hand knock down the hands of the offensive tackle. You know you can pin the ears back and go. 4th and 22.
2 sacks for Foskey tonight. Disruptive at the big moment. Now 8 sacks on the season. I want to remind you, when we are done here on NBC at the top of the hour, our Notre Dame coverage will continue. Peacock postgame. So if you are watching on Peacock or you switch on over, you'll be able to catch Brian Kelly's press conference as well, as the Irish try to move to 6-1. Number 7 Penn State lost in 9 overtimes. A walk-off in the bottom of the 9th for Illinois. And number 8 Oklahoma State lost. Number 2 Cincinnati. Number 3 Oklahoma. Not impressive in their wins, so a lot to be determined here in the second half of the season. Kyron Williams in 2 there, trying to rip the ball out of his hands. And we're down to 2:30 left. SC with 2 timeouts.
Now this is interesting to see the way they use Tyler Buckner in this game, different than where they have earlier in the season. Earlier in the season, you felt like Buckner would come in because the offense was stagnant. You know, they needed a spark. They wanted to change things up. Tonight, the Jack Cohn-led offense was very efficient. You now then have the luxury of being able to bring in a guy like Tyler Buckner, and it's a whole new game plan, but also bring him along the way you want to bring him along.
Kyron Williams looking for space here. He'll jump forward to the 8-yard line. You mentioned Cohn is Notre Dame.
Timeout USC, their second and a half, 30.
Sees SC take their second timeout. Here is the quarterback comparison brought to you by Under Armour. Keaton Slovis just under 300 yards on the night. And Jack Cohn, a good percentage for him with a 189, 1-1.
Yep.
Strong numbers there. Hey, while we have a second, a special wish. Notre Dame fans have seen a very familiar face around here for many, many years. My friend Dick Vitale, who I worked with so many years over at ESPN. Dick was here with his wife Lorraine a couple of weeks ago. Touching the play like a champion today sign, as so many do. You may have seen Dick is battling lymphoma, 6 months of chemotherapy. Been texting with Dickie V, as so many of us have during the week. And Dick, everybody in South Bend and all of us in our industry send you prayers and absolute best wishes. Nobody has, many people have, but very few have done as much as Dick has for cancer and cancer research through the V Foundation. And he has the support of so many of us here. Dickie V, we're thinking of you, pal. I'm sure he was watching tonight. Buckner on the run, and Buckner gets the first down at the 3-yard line. And that should just about do it. We'll see if USC is going to use that final timeout and what the Irish will do with this 15-point lead.
I think again, the Irish they found maybe their formula offensively. You know, after what we saw tonight, and I think what they've learned throughout this season, this up-tempo offense I think serves Jack Cohn very well. Certainly takes pressure off the offensive line. They were really able to wear down the defensive front for USC. Kyron Williams having a big day. And then you just continue to use Tyler Buckner in a way that develops him. He's going to obviously be a huge part of your run game and run threats, but also some of the vertical passing game as well.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still first down. The clock will start on the snap.
Back here in prime time for North Carolina next Saturday night on NBC. The Irish will play Navy. Navy with a good effort against Cincinnati today. Then they will go to Virginia, take on the Cavaliers. Georgia Tech comes in here, and then they close the season out in Palo Alto against Stanford. But you see the PFF projections on the win probability, and Notre Dame is really going to have a great chance to get to 11-1 this year. They're not going to be easy games along the way. Quality of the opponent, stiffness of the opponent or not, they're going to have a chance. Meantime, the Trojans are going to fall 3-4. It's their first road loss at 8. Arizona is on the worst losing streak in the country at 18 in a row now. Then they'll go to Tempe, Berkeley, have the Bruins come home in the greatest uniform matchup of the season when the Trojans and the Bruins wear the same color. That'd be in the Coliseum. And then they'll take on BYU out of the conference to close the season, as a lot of the speculation of what's next at USC will probably filter through the second half of this season. Jack Cohn takes a knee, and that will do it. Notre Dame has beaten Southern California for the 4th consecutive time. 5 in a row in South Bend. 5 out of the last 6. And Brian Kelly, he was talking to Dante Williams when we were on the field before the game. Real respect for what he has been dealing with and how he had the team prepared tonight. 15 catches, 171 for Drake London. He thought we'd see Kyle Hamilton, but he's checking on him. Those 2 mid-season first-team All-Americans. Irish win by 15, and here's Catherine.
Coach, you said this week you wanted to see more consistency from your offense. What did you see tonight?
It was better. I mean, it's been sporadic, and we played with more tempo. I thought that Jack needed that. I thought he played well late in games when we got into a better tempo, and I thought Tommy did a really good job of getting that tempo early established, and I thought we kept it up, and that has been something that we've struggled with offensively, where we've had some really good parts of the game, and then we've kind of lulled. And I think this is the first time that we've really played close to a complete game offensively. So really happy with the development offensively.
And defensively, you were without your star.
Young guys step up. I thought Tariq Bracy at the nickel position played really well, played physical for us. You know, look, this is a game where 11 guys got to play. Kyle is a terrific football player, but we lost him last year against North Carolina, put together a great performance, and, you know, we've got young guys that stepped up and played really well today. Look, they're a very difficult team to defend. Coach did a really good job of bringing them across the country under less than perfect circumstances for him, and he did a really good job of getting USC ready today. But proud of my team, proud of getting another win in this rivalry, and it's a good night here in South Bend.
You get to keep the jeweled shillelagh.
Yeah, and we get to keep that, and that's it's really important for our guys, and it's really important for our university.
Coach, thanks so much.
Thanks, Catherine.
You walk out of Brian Kelly's office, and right there in the football office, you have all the trophies that Notre Dame plays for, and there are a bunch. There's 6 of them. They've all been sitting there the last couple of years. Keaton Slovis threw for 299 here tonight. You'll hear a lot about Jackson Dart over the next couple of weeks for USC, as the alma mater Notre Dame, our mother, plays. Well, Jack Cohn will add the USC-Notre Dame rivalry to his college football career. You saw Tommy Reese, the offensive coordinator, there for a greeting with Kyron Williams, a little bit bloodied and physical in the matchup. And you saw some of the Notre Dame alums as well, the former Irish players who are also in the crowd as they sang Notre Dame, our mother, the alma mater. So a pretty strong effort by the Irish. 31-16, and I mentioned the offensive star Kyron Williams with a 138 on the ground, and standing by with Catherine again.
Kyron, 2 touchdowns in this game, 138 yards on the ground, and a huge embrace there with your offensive coordinator, Tommy Reese. How do you feel after a game like this?
It's pure joy. Like, we've been talking about how it's rival week all week. We're coming off a bye, and I just feel like as an offense, we came out and showed and proved who we were, and we're building that identity that we had before. And like as you see in Coach Reese, he's just excited as I am. He said, from the beginning of the week, Monday, he said he does not like USC. So it's always been a rivalry, and we just came out and showed and played well and didn't make it a close game. So that's fine.
But for you, physically, you take a lot of hits out there. You have so many yards after the carry. What is it like for you in a game like this when you know you're targeted, but you know you have to get those big runs?
I mean, it's just a mindset, really. You got to come out. I come out and know that they're trying to stop me, so I can't let them stop me. So I just know when I tell myself every time before a play, run through contact and stay patient. So if I do that, I know I can be able to set them up and make runs like I did tonight. I just feel like the offensive line, shout out my offensive line, they played a whole lot better. We've seen it at Virginia Tech, and now it's coming to USC. It's going to keep on coming for the rest of the season. So I'm just excited to keep on working with those guys and just keep getting better.
You are constantly going over the offensive line during the games. We see it. You congratulate them. You pump them up. Why is that so important to you?
I mean, it's always been, as a running back, my dad has instilled that for me since day one. Like he says, no, you can't do it yourself. So you got to go thank the people that can do it for you. So, I'm forever grateful for the O-linemen because I know they work just as hard as me to get so I can shine, and they get no shine. So I'm going to always show them love. And I know the camera's on me, so when I get the camera, they're going to see them too. So shout out my O-linemen.
You always know the camera's on you. You come running up to me after games for that interview.
No, sometimes.
Kyron, thanks so much.
Thank you so much. See you.
Mike?
That is the personality of that young man out of St. Louis, Missouri. Had 370 rushing yards coming into tonight. 138 here this evening as the Irish hit the play like a champion. Today's sign, head back up the stairs to the locker room. Jack Cohn will be making that trip in a moment, but he stops by with Catherine right now.
Yeah, he did. Jack, congratulations on the win. This team wanted to play a more up-tempo rhythm in this game. How did you control that tonight?
Honestly, just trusting the coach's plan. Our guys did an outstanding job of preparing all week, working really hard in practice, and just following the plan.
Jack, when you see a play like Kyron Williams and what he's able to do out there, and of course the chemistry with you and Tyler Buckner, how is this offense evolving right now?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, these guys just come to work every day and work their butts off, and everyone tries to get a little bit better each day. And I know we're doing that. We're going to continue to get better, and I'm so thankful to be a part of this crew.
I spoke to your dad this morning. He talked about how from a young age you were a team player. You just want to win. You don't care who's in there. We see that with you and Tyler Buckner on the field. What is it like between you two and the relationship you have together?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, he's one of my best friends, not only on the team, but just in life in general. And I mean, he always has my back when I'm on the field. I got his back when he's on there. Drew's in, we got his back. So it's just an amazing group, and I love those boys.
Jack, you knew a little bit about this rivalry coming into this game, but now playing at Notre Dame and against USC, how much does this victory mean to you tonight?
Yeah, it means a lot. I mean, USC is a great team, and to beat a team like that, it's awesome. And to be a part of this history is pretty cool.
Jack, thanks so much. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Mike?
All right, Catherine, thanks. You saw Jack's dad up in the stands. We asked Jack yesterday, and when we talked to him, said, for your dad, who grew up a Notre Dame fan, he always wanted to bring you here but never did, but you've brought him here. Does your dad tell you about the Notre Dame USC game? Does he think it's a big game? And Jack just looked and said, nah. My dad thinks every game's the Super Bowl.
I love it.
There's something cool, and Catherine referred to it. Tommy Reese, the offensive coordinator, told us after the Virginia Tech game, he got a great text from his sister. It wasn't XO stuff. He said, I'm really proud of you as a coach and as your brother because your quarterbacks and all this stuff of back and forth, they were so excited for each other, and that's a theme we've seen as we've watched this team and saw it again tonight.
It's something that really stands out as you watch the game and as you see the interactions on the sideline, and then you begin to talk to those guys and understand just how much they care for each other and they support each other, and truly the feeling in that room is a shared success. Yeah. No matter who is on the field, or if the feeling is that, that guy is about to take my job, it's, hey, we're doing this together. We're here to support one another. It's in the best interest of the team, and I'm just as amazed as everyone at how they've been able to build that chemistry together.
And this was one of the better nights start to finish for Jack Cohn. Let's take you back through one of his better, more complete performances in his 7 starts at Notre Dame.
Yeah, it was, and it was really all about the tempo that was created for him to get the ball out of his hands very quickly. He's a good decision maker. Listen, he's a veteran guy. He graduated, he's played a bunch of football. And then you bring in a guy like Tyler Buckner, who obviously is a huge part of the run game, but then his ability to throw the ball vertically and create opportunities for guys around him as well. The two of those guys together and just the way they complement, the way the offense changed. I mean, how hard is that for a defensive coordinator? All of a sudden, you've got a game plan for these two different guys. They bring these different skill sets. Buckner's a guy who still don't think they've quite opened the whole thing up for him yet, and we'll see how that evolves as the season goes along, but certainly these guys are both highly productive.
It's a Notre Dame team that at one point during the Virginia Tech game, trying to come back, had 6 true freshmen on the field. So this is a team that is in transition, building towards next year, but you keep looking, and they keep winning. They're 6-1. They're only lost to number 2 Cincinnati. It's because players like Cone they're figuring out, and the offensive line getting settled allowed Kyron Williams to look like the running back we saw a lot last year.
Absolutely, and it took a while with this offensive line to kind of figure out what was going to be their bread and butter. They lost 4 out of the 5 of the big, heavy guys that were used to just pushing the line of scrimmage. So they've had to do it in different ways. It's still some of that same duo, or America's play, as I like to call
America's play.
It's also, hey, getting him on the edge. He's so good when he's in space. If there's one guy to beat, he's going to beat him, whether he's going to break the tackle, or he's going to stiff arm him, or if he's going to run around him. Such a tenacious runner, tenacious blocker, a leader for that offense, and obviously he's a guy who gets everybody really fired up.
7th time over 100 yards with 138 yards. So the Irish win 31-16. We'll have one final word in a moment, but this is just part of a college football day that didn't look like it was a great schedule, but gave us a lot of great games, including a walk-off in the bottom of the 9th. That wasn't the Braves and the Dodgers. Let's go back down to Jack and Corey.
That's right, Mike. Late October and a walk-off in the bottom of the 9th. We'll get to that game right now. Some of the best games we saw around college football. Here were the highlights. Let's start with this 2-point showdown that we saw. This is Illinois and Penn State after the second overtime. They just go to this shootout style. It's 2-point plays after another. They keep it in state with the Philly special, but it's dropped by the quarterback, Sean Clifford.
It was just sudden death. Jack, it went back and forth, back and forth. Full extension here, but how does Penn State respond?
Penn State, Noah Kane, keep the marathon alive for a little bit longer. It's late October, and we are headed to the bottom of the 9th, as Mike Tirico just told you. Brandon Peters, Casey Washington to the back of the end zone. There's the walk-off.
We almost went to 10. We almost went to extra innings, Jack.
This was the first college football game in college football history to go 9 overtimes. Penn State's playoff hopes deflated after a 5-0 start. Oklahoma and Kansas, true freshman Caleb Williams making his first road start after taking over for Spencer Rattler. Early in this game, it would be his legs, and late in this game, it would be the same thing. Fourth quarter, 4th and 3, Williams for 40 yards.
What poise by the true freshman. That should have been a turnover of downs, and so should have been this play, Jack. But he was just a genius of making things happen when nothing was there.
Passed the baton one time. Look at Williams call for the ball. Have you ever seen that before? Comes and grabs it from him.
Never seen that, Jack, ever.
And gets the first down on his own, apparently legal because that handoff happened behind the line of scrimmage. Williams had the slow start. 3 second-half touchdowns, though. He came to life. The Sooners have won 16 straight games. Northwestern and number 6 Michigan. They're playing for the George Jewett Trophy, the first black player in Big Ten history. Michigan run game, they've been moving mountains. Blake Corum, another big afternoon.
So going into this game, Michigan failed to score in the red zone only once.
Third quarter, we'll jump ahead. This is Corum again. Jawan Howard, the basketball coach in the big house. He is loving it. By the end of the game, it is the senior, Hassan Haskins. He has 4 touchdowns in the last 2 games. The Wolverines will have unbeaten Michigan State next weekend, and Ohio State still looming in just over a month. Mike Tirico, will send it back up to you.
All right, Jack, thank you. So the Michigan State, Ohio State, that will solve itself. Penn State losing there. So you're going to have some of those no-loss teams get losses. It'll be interesting to watch what happens with the Irish over the next 4 or 5 weeks. As we said, they're going to be favored likely in all their games and have a chance to continue moving up the standings in New Year's 6 bowl game. Very possible. Defense, second half, really second, third, fourth quarter, did not play as well as it did early on.
No, they didn't. They were kind of bend, don't break, but they were able to get a big turnover. And I do feel like an identity has been established there, though, too. And so you've got identity offense, identity on defense. Like you said, the college football picture is not real clear right now. So could these guys enter back into the conversation with the college football playoff? Certainly they could if they continue to make strides that we've seen over the last 2 weeks.
You may wake up at some point and go, Cincinnati is number 1, and their only losses to Notre Dame. So exactly. Notre Dame's only lost to them, I should say. 31-16, our final here tonight in South Bend. On Peacock, it's the Notre Dame postgame show. Brian Kelly's press conference later tonight on NBC. All new Saturday Night Live. Jason Sudeikis, the musical guest, is Brady Carlisle. We're back here next Saturday night in prime time when Mac Brown, the North Carolina Tar Heels, come in. With Drew Brees, Catherine Tappan, Jack Collinsworth, Corey Robinson, our entire team. Rob Hyland, our producer, Charlie Dameyer, our director, the rest of our Notre Dame on NBC team. I'm Mike Tirico. We'll see you for football night tomorrow night before the Colts and the 49ers. We thank you for joining us tonight in South Bend for Notre Dame football, presented by Coke Zero Sugar,